Yep. Inside, I want to kill myself. We are on an 0-7 run over the last 2 days. After tonight was just complete bullshit. So that's how I'm going to start off this show. Horrible Sunday, 1-5. I don't even know what to tell you about that. I just don't want to do this anymore. I have never seen anything like this, man. With the slump continuing, 2 straight losses, not a good day at all. 0-4. I just have not had a good season, man. What kind of slump that I'm on? The slump continues. I've reached a new peak, actually. I'm gonna burn my Bruins hat, man. I don't know what is going on with the Bruins. March 8th, is that what it is? I don't even know. It's March 9th, I think. Who even knows, man? I don't know what day it is anymore. I don't even know what day it is anymore, man. Back with you after the worst day that I could possibly have. Back with you, as I always am. Until I die, at least. 0-2 yesterday, and yesterday did not go well for me. 0-5. The worst month that I've ever had in my 18 years doing this. I don't know what to even tell you about this anymore. Broke the slump yesterday as the slump just continues. The slump continues. Somebody fucking kill me, please. I don't even know what I should do at this point other than potentially end it all. What's up, everybody? It's Toad back with you. This is Better Off Dead for Tuesday, September 23rd. I always have to check what day it is, man, because I never know what day it is. As you can see in the intro, we skipped yesterday. Skip it. Yesterday was the the handicapping equivalent of a pussy. We skipped it. Oh, my God. Very little action yesterday. I mean, gambling action on the board in general. That plus nobody's banging on a Monday night. 3 baseball games yesterday and 1 football game, which I gave out the correct lean on the side, but that was, and I did say that under made sense early on in the game, and I kind of thought the game would unravel a little bit and that you'd see more offense in the second half, and it did. It was crazy how much offense happened in that game. I escaped in fantasy, improving to 2-1 in my main league, despite not even having a good team, despite losing James Conner. I dodged Lamar Jackson last night. He almost caught up to me, but not quite. And I fended him off with Sam Laporta. So you guys aren't here for fantasy, though. You're here for plays. I have 1 play in WNBA and 1 play in Major League Baseball today. Let's get into it, man. No time to waste. Let's do it. Breakdown. The WNBA play will be early on because we're going to talk about the WNBA first here. Let's do it. We're in the playoffs. We're in the semifinals. The 2 teams that I picked in my bracket to make the finals, Vegas and Minnesota, are both hosting the series. They're both still in it. They are the top 2 seeds. First game up is Phoenix at Minnesota. Game 2, Minnesota won game 1. They won on the scoreboard. It looks like they won fairly easily by 13. I did lean to them in the game. Minnesota extremely good at home, so very, very difficult team to fade at home. They're 20-2 at home, which I forget if that was just the regular season or if that includes playoff. I think that might have just been the regular season. Phoenix, still a decent team, above 500 on the road. Obviously not as good as Minnesota, who is the best team in the league. The way this game played out, I think it's helpful to sometimes look at the just look at the stats, the box score, when you're trying to look for potential zigzag spots in playoffs, which is basically you look at what happened in the previous game, determine that in some way this was an outlier and be like, oh, okay, I want to go the other way with this. Now in this game, Phoenix was actually winning the game almost by double digits. They were winning by 9 points, getting close to halftime. They maintained the lead into the third quarter. Game was still really close into the fourth quarter, and then Phoenix, with 5 minutes left, they were only down 1 point, and then they just basically didn't even score again. So I don't know why that happens in the WNBA so often. You'll see teams just completely stop scoring for the final 5 minutes. I don't know what the deal is with that. But Phoenix played pretty well in this game, so in a way you could say, well, they're going to have to put in that effort against a superior team 2 days in a row. That's going to be difficult, or 2 games in a row. They had yesterday off. And yeah, I agree. It's going to be difficult for them to put in that amount of effort 2 straight games. Minnesota did outplay them. The one outlier that I see here is that Phoenix only shot 13% from three-point range. So that is definitely extremely low. That is an outlier percentage there. You got to expect that that will take a step up in this game. They won't shoot that poorly from three again. Will it be enough to keep them close enough with Minnesota, though? I don't know, man. Because if you look at this, Minnesota, I mean, there wasn't a lot of this is a very clean game as far as the reffing. Like, Minnesota had 6 free throw attempts, and Phoenix only had 4. I mean, I don't think you ever see free throw attempts being that low in a game, so I don't know what the deal was with the reffing. But the reffing was just kind of letting everybody play, and if the reffing is not the same this time, that could potentially maybe even be a little bit of a drawback to Minnesota, just because I think they're going to be the more physical of the two teams here. I would lean to Phoenix slightly here. Minnesota's down from 8.5 to 7. I believe the line in the first game was somewhere around that. I think it was about 7. Let me just make sure about that. Actually, it was 9.5. I was wrong. It went up from 7.5 to 9.5. So you're not really getting any line value on Phoenix here. It's interesting that the line has dropped to that degree, because you'd think that with Minnesota winning by double digits in the first game, by whatever it was, 13, 15, whatever it was, that you'd see the line maybe even shift a little bit more towards Minnesota. That has not happened. It did open around the same at 8.5. Came down to 7.5. I think immediately some of the actual professional bettors took Phoenix in this one. 62% of the cash on Phoenix, 60% of the tickets on Minnesota. I'll agree with the Phoenix side. This isn't going to be my play. I think it does still set up as kind of a zigzag spot where Phoenix does still they're the team with the adjustments to make. They lost. If you're Minnesota, you don't really have too many adjustments to make, although they didn't play well in the first half. Really, the one thing that I see again is that Phoenix had a really outlier low percentage in three-point range, so I could see that progressing back to some sort of mean. But the game I'm actually going to give out is the Vegas Aces minus 8.5. I think this is just getting a little bit ridiculous. I think the public might even be on Indiana, even though everybody has to know at this point there's no Caitlin Clark here. There's no Sophie Cunningham here. They are there for the game. I mean, they're not playing, obviously, but they're there on the bench. They're helping out with the team, helping motivate the team, probably helping coach the team, whatever. But 56% of tickets are on Indiana. They're a public side here, especially if people see what they did in game 1. They won the game outright, and people are going to say, how am I getting 9.5 points here if Indiana won the game outright? They don't even need to do that this time. Well, yeah, I think that there were things in that game that make it look like an outlier, and Vegas, yeah, only up a little bit from 9 to 9.5 here. It looks like it's 9 is the prevalent number out there, but I did see 8.5 at FanDuel this morning in Massachusetts. Most of the numbers are at 9. If you want to lay 9, I think that's also fine. 7 is really the key number in basketball, because that's the 3-possession threshold where teams stop intentionally fouling. There's not much of a difference between 8.5 and 9, so I would be fine with laying either one of those. I think Vegas comes in and they take it, man. Vegas, they're still really good at home, 17-5 at home. Indiana only 11-11 on the road, 11-11. Oh boy, might be making a wish or something there. You're probably gonna have to make a wish if you want Indiana to somehow win 2 games in a row at Vegas. I don't think it's gonna happen. Indiana did beat Vegas both games on at home this season, which I think might have at least one of them was without Clark. I think Cunningham was there for all 3 matchups that they had. Vegas won the matchup at home by 8. I know they have to win by a little bit more than that here, but I still think that previous game in this series was a bit of an outlier, man. So we're looking at that game now. The number did go up from 8.5 to 9.5 here. So at 8.5 or 9, you're actually getting a little bit of value in this game based on what it was in the previous game. And why? Well, my mistake. I'm still looking at today's game. What am I doing, man? I wanted to look at the last game. So this game went down actually from 9.5 to 8.5, but still at 8.5 or 9, it's basically the same number. And you know that Vegas is going to be the team that has all the adjustments to make here, man. Also, you're looking at an Indiana team that we know has a thin roster because they're missing so many of their best players. I mean, on the game flow here, it basically looks like Indiana, once they separated themselves late in the first half, they basically never looked back, although the game was pretty close late in the third quarter. Indiana just ran away with it in the end. But if you look at what happened in this game, Vegas really did not shoot that well, 40.8% from the field, which is pretty low for them considering Asia Wilson attacking the inside. She's usually pretty dominant in the inside and is not going to have that low of a field goal percentage. 3-point percentage was pretty low for Vegas as well at 29.4%. Really, the main outlier is that Indiana shot 50% from the field as well, which I don't think that's going to happen again. I know Vegas has had some struggles defensively at times, but that just seems a little bit crazy. Vegas lost the turnover battle and they lost the rebounding battle. I don't really see either of those things happening again. Highly unlikely they're going to lose the turnover battle at home again. Usually the home team wins the turnover battle. I think it's pretty unlikely they're going to lose the rebound battle again. I mean, Asia Wilson, again, dominant presence on the inside. I don't really see Indiana really matching up well against them, so it makes it pretty crazy that they won the rebound battle in this one. So I think a lot of outliers here that could sort of regress back to some mean here. And again, if you're Indiana, you played basically a perfect game in that game. Like, what do? Like, you have no adjustments to make, and that's why the zigzag works. Whereas you have Vegas, who legitimately is the better of these two teams here, was extremely hot coming into the playoffs. And I thought it was a good thing that Vegas lost one of the games in the first round, because that makes them used to losing again. Like, you don't want to be this team that hasn't lost in 2 months or whatever, and maybe it's not quite 2 months, but, and you're just not even used to dealing with that mentally anymore. So I think it's okay that Vegas has lost a couple of these games here. They got to get this one, obviously, and then once they do, I think they can still win the series. They are going to have to win one game on the road at Indiana, but I think they could do that. Even though I know they didn't during the regular season. It's going to be a bit difficult now, but obviously massive pressure on them. If they lose both games at home, they're going to be done. So they pretty much know they have to come out extra focused here. This is an angle that we also use in the NBA a lot. The home favorite, if they lose game one outright, especially a big favorite that's clearly the better team, they're a really, really solid play in game two. So we're going to use the same handicapping format here in the WNBA for this. We will go with the Vegas Aces here. And again, if we look at what happened in this game, Wilson was 6 for 22 from the field, man. I mean, that's not going to happen again. She did have a lot of rebounds as usual. Maybe she was a little bit distracted because I don't know if the MVP announcement came up before this game or not, but she is the winner of the MVP award. I don't know why they announced it during the playoffs, but she won the MVP. It was between her and Collier on Minnesota. Wilson won. And I think the league actually they probably want that matchup in the finals, to be honest. They want Wilson against Collier in the finals now that Caitlin Clark isn't there and whatever. She's not going to shoot this poorly again. I mean, she takes a lot of high percentage shots. She plays on the inside, so I don't see that happening again. Again, I thought that field goal percentage was a bit of an outlier. We did also see Indiana go to the line more in this game. 17 free throw attempts, only 12 from Vegas. That's probably not going to happen again either. I think you're usually going to get a little bit of home cooking from the refs here, where they're going to call some of the fouls. It's more likely that some of the fouls get called in your direction. I think that might happen here. And again, I don't know what again happened in this first game with Asia Wilson, because she usually draws a lot of fouls, gets to the line, so I expect that to be happening again as well. So I don't think you're going to see Indiana have more free throw attempts again either. So a lot of things make it look like they're just kind of things that wouldn't normally happen, and they all just kind of coincided in the first game. We're going to go with Vegas minus the points. I don't really want to belabor that anymore because we got to get to baseball. But that is the WNBA play there. We have a full slate of baseball. I'm looking at the standings here. I mean, basically just the wild card really matters at this point, although Toronto is still in a battle to try to win the division. Detroit also in a battle to try to still win the division. Seattle and Houston still kind of locked in that battle. The NL is more like pretty much almost determined. It's just crazy what's going on in the American League right now. And in the American League, you got Yankees, Red Sox, Cleveland, Houston, all in the wild card race. Seattle, Detroit, Toronto, none of them have huge leads in their division, so they could all potentially fall back into wild card spots. So, and Houston as well. So you have essentially you have 7 teams that are fighting for. You have 7 teams are fighting for 6 playoff spots, I think. So one of these teams is going to wind up being left out, and then the question is which team is it going to be, and it's probably going to be the Red Sox, Cleveland, or Houston. As a Red Sox fan, I'm concerned. They only have a 1-game lead over both Cleveland and Houston, although the Red Sox do have the tiebreaker, but they don't have an easy remaining schedule. They have probably the most difficult out of all of them. So We'll talk about that in a minute, but let's jump into this, man. We got all evening games. A lot of these games don't matter. Like this first series up is Tampa at Baltimore. AL East matchup where neither of these teams are going anywhere. Baltimore just came off a series against the Yankees. Both teams are off yesterday. Almost every team was off yesterday, so a lot of rested bullpens here. Tampa has the better bullpen. I would still probably give Tampa an offensive edge in this game as well. I don't know where they sit offensively now. I don't think it's a huge edge, but yeah, right here, I'm looking at OPS. They're 14th in OPS. Baltimore, not too far down from there, but 21st in OPS. So Tampa does have a bullpen edge and an offensive edge here. Baltimore coming off that big series against the Yankees, but this is still a divisional matchup. I mean, I think this is the type of game that will draw both teams' focuses, just because it is a divisional matchup to finish the season. Tampa, as I keep saying, is not as bad as their record looks. I think they actually have a positive run differential, so they're probably going to be, they're the only team with a positive run differential that I think will miss the playoffs as it stands right now, I think. Actually, wait, that might be wrong, actually. Let me see. Hold on. I might be wrong about that. I don't want to really talk about it too much, but no, it'll be them and the Rangers. I was close. So them and the Rangers pretty much are going to be the two, which is ridiculous because, again, Cleveland has a negative run differential, and they might make the playoffs. But in this matchup, I'm not sure that I love Tampa here, even though I do like Ryan Pepiot, typically their starting pitcher here. He's had a pretty good season, man. 3.77 ERA, 1.16 whip. Coming over from the Dodgers. He was on the Dodgers, I think, up until last year. He isn't as good on the road, though. Surprisingly, he actually pitches a lot better at home, even though they play in Steinbrenner Field, the Yankees spring training stadium, which is a difficult stadium to pitch in. He's got a 4.2 road ERA, so he's not as good on the road. This month, it's been a tale of two starts, basically. Like, he put up a third straight 5-inning shutout against Cleveland to open the month. And then last time out, he really didn't do well. Didn't even make it out of the second inning against Toronto. Had 3 strikeouts, 3 walks, 4 earned runs allowed. Not a good performance. So this month, because of that bad start, he's got a 5.4 ERA, 9-5 strikeout walk ratio. It's too many walks. But is that like an outlier, or are we going to say that he's all of a sudden in bad form? Hard to say. So then I have to look at, well, what are his matchup numbers against Baltimore? And they're not good. In 63 at-bats, 22-5 strikeout walk ratio is good. 302 average allowed, though. 908 OPS. So Pepiot isn't as good on the road. Doesn't do well against Baltimore matchup-wise against their current lineup. So it's looking like maybe you do want to look to maybe fade Pepiot here. He's going up against Dean Creamer for the Orioles, who is generally not the better pitcher, and generally I'm not a fan. His numbers are okay this year. 4.39 ERA, 1.26 whip. He's actually way better at home, though. 3.13 ERA, so he has a way better home-road split, and he's actually been the better of the two pitchers this month, at least. He had a 3-inning shutout against the Dodgers. I don't know what the deal was with that. I don't know if they were limiting him. For some reason, they took him out of the game. He had a no-hit performance, or maybe he came in relief. I don't really know what that was. And then he did have a normal start against the White Sox last time out. Walked 3 guys, which is a bit alarming, but he held them to 2 earned runs. I know the White Sox are terrible offensively, but Creamer does have a 2.08 ERA this month. His appearances have been spread out a little bit, so he's not really on a normal schedule, which might throw him off because starting pitchers like to be on schedule, man. But it does mean he has a little bit more rest going on as far as what he's done this month. 8-4 strikeout walk ratio this month. Not great, but he's pitching a little bit better than Pepiot right now, just because Pepiot's last start wasn't good. Creamer against the Rays does have pretty good numbers at 82 at-bats. The strikeout walk ratio is bad, so Pepiot does have the advantage with the strikeout walk ratio against the opposing lineup. 16-11 strikeout walk ratio. That's not good for Creamer, although 7 of the walks are between the 2 Lows, Brandon and Josh, as Nathaniel Lowe is on my Boston Red Sox. Maybe all 3 of them should be on the same team. 232 batting average allowed from Creamer against the Rays, 664 OPS. I'm going to have a slight lean to Baltimore in the first 5 innings here, man. I wouldn't want to go full game on it. I think Tampa has a bullpen edge here, but I think Baltimore does have a starting pitching edge here. I know they're coming off a big series against the Yankees, but they were ugly in the last couple of games. Tampa coming off a big series as well. They played the Red Sox, and they're traveling up to Baltimore. I know starting a road trip tends to be a focus spot, but they did just beat the Red Sox, which was a bigger series as well than this is. So, yeah, I think Baltimore first 5 might be worth a look. Tampa did go up from -103 to -113. I know I keep saying Tampa is better than the record looks, but does it justify them being a favorite on the road in this matchup? I'm not so sure. 73% of tickets on them, so they are public, but 86% of the cash percentage coming in on them. Not quite sure about that, man. Yeah, first 5 Baltimore is kind of my lean in that one. Jordan, what's up, man? Thanks for hanging out. You calling me love? That's gay, bro. Yes, you get to catch me live. Sorry, you're catching my ass. It's getting even more gay. What's going on, man? You're my only person in the chat right now. I think because I started out the show with WNBA, everybody's like, fuck this. And then they're like, oh, now baseball? Fuck this. Detroit, Cleveland, huge series right here, man. I mean, some of these series are very, very big. This is an insane series. I mean, this is basically the series that's going to decide the NL Central. As I showed you, Cleveland is, I believe they're right behind Detroit now. Detroit barely hanging on here as Cleveland's been hot, and Detroit has lost 6 games in a row, including getting swept at home by Cleveland. But that does mean this is a road revenge spot for Detroit. They get to start a road trip here, and I use that angle a lot where when a team just got swept at home, they go out on the road and face the same team. A lot of times, for whatever reason, it happens 2 series later. It's usually a divisional series. That road team is usually a good look in that one, man. I think this might be a spot where Detroit is pissed off. Enough is enough. They're going to be focused here. I think they're going to win this game. Cleveland is actually returning home from a road trip as well. They went to Detroit, as you just saw, and Minnesota, and they'd won a bunch of games in a row. I think they'd won 11, 12 games in a row, but they lost their last game at Minnesota, and I talk about this too. When a team has a long win streak like that and they lose, a lot of times that hangs them over into the next game because that can just halt that momentum. They're not used to losing. It can have an effect where they essentially lose the same game twice. That plus Cleveland returning home from a road trip, and I talk about returning home from a road trip. You have to get back to family life. That return home distraction comes into play, although I think it's less so here because obviously they're not going to be distracted when they're facing Detroit. I mean, this is a huge series, so I think that aspect of it is going to be mitigated a bit. But I still don't like the spot for Cleveland generally. I think it is a better spot for Detroit. I think the revenge spot does matter. Cleveland does have the better bullpen. Their bullpen has been surprisingly good. Even without Clase, their closer, who will never come back because he was betting on his own games. Detroit, kind of a mediocre bullpen, man. They've kind of fallen off bullpen-wise. Detroit does have a significantly better offense, though. Cleveland is like a bottom offense in all of baseball, which makes it even more ridiculous that they're doing this because their pitching hasn't even really been that good. Like, their starting pitching, their offense sucks, so it's ridiculous that they're here. But they're going to have to go up against Scooble this time, man. So, I mean, Detroit has the starting pitching edge in this game. If they're going to win this game, this is the guy to help them do it. I mean, he's probably going to win the Cy Young in the AL. 2.23 ERA, .88 whip. Great season for him. We know how good he is. He did have some issue a couple starts ago with his side or something. He had side soreness, but he came back in the next start, and I think he did well, which I'll show you in a minute. He's only slightly worse on the road, 2.35 ERA. Obviously, I don't think that's a problem. This month, 2.76 ERA. Like I said, he had that start where he had that side issue, had to exit the game against Miami. Didn't do well there. That was his only road start of the month. Allowed 4 earned runs, 2 strikeouts, no walks, and 3 1/3. But he bounced back nicely against Cleveland in 6 innings. Gave up 1 earned run, 9 strikeouts, 2 walks, 7 hits. He was right back in form, man. Yes, I know Cleveland just saw him, but that's going to be the case with, I think both of these offenses just saw these opposing pitchers. So that gets negated because sometimes when an offense just saw an opposing pitcher, they'll have a little bit of an extra advantage because they just saw him, so they're used to hitting him. But we're talking about a guy that they face all the time, Scooble. So I don't even think having just faced him is that much of an advantage for Cleveland. Their offense is not good anyway, and they don't do well against Scooble. In their history, they have a lot of experience against him, and it hasn't really mattered. 138 at-bats. He has a dominant 46-6 strikeout walk ratio against them, 217 batting average allowed, 562 OPS, so Scooble does really well against them. He is going up against Gavin Williams, who's been pretty good as of late. He's turned into a pretty solid pitcher for Cleveland, man. Actually, one of their probably their best starter. Sorry to Tanner Bybee, who hasn't had that good of a season. Gavin Williams kind of ridiculously, he's been the guy. He's got a 3.06 ERA. 1.28 whip is still too high, though. Putting too many guys on base generally. He is a little bit better at home, a 3 ERA at home. So, I mean, Cleveland, they basically have their best starter going up against Detroit's best starter here. So, it's kind of, man, I mean, it's a little bit difficult to actually want to lay a price like this with Detroit on the road when both starting pitchers could do well here. Williams, his team has won his last 4 outings. He's allowed 2 or fewer earned runs in all 4. He's got at least 5 innings in all 4. This month has a 1.5 ERA in 3 starts, 18-8 strikeout walk ratio. It's too many walks, but he hasn't allowed much else. And yes, he faced Detroit last time out. He also did well. He went 5 innings, 9 strikeouts, 2 walks, 3 hits allowed. This might have been, was this a Scooble game? I think it might have been. No, it was against Flaherty, my mistake. Because I think Detroit actually lost the Scooble game too because they got swept by Cleveland. But again, overall, I do think this is probably a game where you do want to look towards Detroit, although Williams, he is actually good against Detroit, too, surprisingly. In 77 at-bats, 30-7 strikeout walk ratio. He's held them to a very low 143 average, 435 OPS. Williams does well against them, too. Detroit, they're down a little bit on the money line from minus 158 to minus 155. 58% of tickets, 85% of the cash on them. So the cash is coming in on Detroit. I do lean to Detroit. It's a bit higher of a price than I'd want to pay. You're always paying a bit of a tax for Scooble. I don't really want to lay a money line of this price, especially on the road. Even though I like the spot, Scooble obviously is good. You could maybe look to a run line with Detroit, but I think that's pushing it a little bit. So I think the best way to look at this is the under, but the problem is I was going to give this out as an under. Both bullpens are rested. Teams didn't play yesterday. Both starters look like they really could hold up in this in their respective outings here. The problem is this total opened at 7, heavily juiced to the under, and immediately went down to 6.5. And you know me, I always want to get the 7 on the under, man. At least the 7, because that's the key number in baseball is 7. Because that's what breaks the 3-3 tie. I just can't go under 6.5. I never do it. I still think that's probably the way to look in this game. If you want to go first 5 innings, you could do that. You're probably going to be looking at going under 3, though, in the first 5 innings, which is a very low number as well. But the money is coming in on the under. 58% of tickets on the over, 72% of cash on the under. I think it's the right way to look. I don't love not getting that key number, man. Oh, it was a typo? Oh, okay. I knew that. Oh, thank you, sir. You love me even though dude, people hate me on Twitter, man, because, like, I have this persona on Twitter. Oh, my God, this guy's, horrible. He's a bigot, whatever, all this stuff, because of my political, cultural leanings, whatever. Like, dude, I don't know. I'm just like, I'm a shit poster. I'm a goofball. I don't know. Like, listen to my show. Meet me in real life, whatever. You're here for football? Hell yeah. Well, unfortunately for you, there is no football today, though. So that'll come later in the week. Thursday, we have college football starting and NFL starting again. NFL, we actually get a decent Thursday night game, and we have a terrible Monday night game coming up this week, so isn't that awesome? Thursday night's Arizona, Seattle, I think at Arizona, and then Monday night is Jets, Dolphins. Oh, man. The battle for bottom place in the AFC East. Pittsburgh, Cincinnati, I'm going to skip right now because that's going to be my one baseball play I'm going to give out, and I hope it's a winner, man. Miami at Philadelphia. On the surface, it's like, yeah, Philadelphia is obviously the better team here, but Philadelphia has a 12-game lead in their division, and I don't think they're going to catch Milwaukee. Philadelphia is basically locked into the 2 seed at this point, like if you look at the standings, so I don't know how much they really have to play for here. I mean, they could potentially catch Milwaukee, but they are... I think they're 3 games back in Milwaukee, I think, right now. Is that right? 2.5. So I guess it is possible they catch Milwaukee. They are needing to stay ahead of the Dodgers, I guess, but they're 4 games ahead of the Dodgers. And they're way ahead in the NL East. So Philadelphia actually doesn't have that much motivation. They're somewhat locked into their playoff seeding at this point. Miami might show up, man, because Miami's playing with some purpose right now. They just won every game on this road trip so far, sweeping Colorado and Texas. And Texas was a team that had something to play for. Texas was trying to grab one of the wild card spots, maybe even potentially win the division. And Miami basically like put the nail in their coffin. I mean, it's insane. Miami, and this is a divisional matchup against a team that is atop the division. So even though Miami doesn't really have anything to play for, I think they will show up in this game. I mean, it'll be a big series for them. Philadelphia may even arguably have less motivation just because the spot that they're in, they really don't have a whole lot to play for. Like I said, they're returning from the West Coast. They went to the Dodgers and Arizona, so they're in one of those dreaded return home spots here. They did lose the series to the D-backs, coming off a big series against the Dodgers. D-backs are playing with energy right now because they actually are in the wild card race still. So, yeah, I mean, they had more motivation against Philly, and it showed. Philly returning home from a road trip. Might not totally focus on Miami, man. So they might be getting back to home life. They don't really need to focus on this game necessarily. So it is kind of a tricky spot for Philadelphia where they might not have enough motivation. Miami, I believe, actually, I don't know. What I was going to say, they have the better of the two bullpens, but I'm actually not sure about that. Philly's bullpen is not very good, though. Yeah, it's actually really close. Miami's 21st, Philadelphia 22nd in bullpen ERA. Miami's only .01 better in ERA. So we have two pretty bad bullpens here. Philadelphia obviously has the better offense. Starting pitching is an interesting matchup. I do think Philly does still have the better starter here, but I kind of like both starters. Marlins going with Edward Cabrera. Pretty good season for him. 3.57 ERA, 1.21 whip. He isn't as good on the road, though. 4.47 ERA on the road. He's been really a mixed bag this month. He has a really nice 44-9 strikeout walk ratio, a ton of strikeouts this month, a decent 4.15 ERA. That's all right. His team has won 4 of his 6 starts this month, including the last 2, but he's had 3 good starts and 3 bad starts this month, basically. So it's kind of like, which one are you going to get? We don't really know because he had his bad starts against Cleveland, St. Louis, and the Mets, and out of those, only the Mets are a good offense. And his good starts are against the Yankees and then Atlanta twice, and the Yankees are a good offense. So what are we going to get out of him here? It's a mystery. He gave up 1 or fewer earned runs in those 3 good starts. He gave up 4 or more earned runs in the 3 bad starts, which included his last time out against the Mets, although he did allow 3 home runs that kind of just screwed him. Which he hadn't allowed. He'd only allowed 2 home runs this month prior to that. That was in August. Excuse me. What am I saying? So he hasn't actually pitched in September. So I think he's actually been injured. So my mistake. This is all in August. So he's having to work his way back. So I don't know what it's going to be like. So that means his schedule is thrown off too. Maybe even, I don't know if that means he was injured and he had like a rehab stint. I actually neglected to look at that. So my apologies there. But I mean, at this point, he's a veteran, so I think he will be able to come back pretty easily here. I think he will be focused. It is a big game against Philadelphia. His numbers against Philadelphia are not bad. In 91 at-bats, 23-16 strikeout walk ratio is bad, though. Again, way too many walks, which usually is the problem with Cabrera, is that he's too wild. He gets a lot of strikeouts, throws hard, but he walks guys. He's wild. 220 batting average allowed, 699 OPS. So his numbers are pretty good against Philadelphia, but he's going up against Christopher Sanchez, who's having a really good season. Really should probably be in the Cy Young conversation, to be honest. Paul Skeens is probably going to get it, even though the old school guys are like, nah, Skeens can't get it because his team doesn't win. It's like, yeah, well, that's not his fault. But Sanchez is one of the better pitchers in the entire National League. 2.66 ERA, 1.1 whip. Really good stuff this year. He's good at home, 2.22 ERA at home. This month, 2.7 ERA and 17-2 strikeout walk ratio in 3 starts. All of them wins for Philadelphia. 4 straight games Philadelphia's won behind him. His numbers are also good against Miami. I mean, they're not a particularly threatening offense. He's pretty much dominated them in 47 at-bats, 8-1 strikeout walk ratio, 170 average, 422 OPS allowed. So I don't love the spot for Philly, but I'm not really jumping out of my seat to try to fade Sanchez, man, because I expect him to do well again here. Philly's a huge favorite, up from -205 to -223. Probably not justified. 94% of tickets, 98% of the cash on them. They're really public. They're in not a particularly good spot. I mean, I could see a little bit of an argument for just trying to fade them here on like the run line, just based on the spot, like playing Miami to just hang within the run line. Because again, both bullpens, they are rested here. Both bullpens are not that good. Philly does have the better offense, but I like pitching over offense. The pitching can kind of counter it. I think the way that I would really lean in this game is probably a first 5 under, though. Again, taking the bullpens out of it because I don't like the bullpens. I do worry about Cabrera, though, with The fact that his last start against the Mets wasn't good. I think he got hurt, and now he's coming back. So he's a bit more questionable here. Sanchez, I think, will do well. 64% of the tickets are on the over, 54% of the cash on the under. So the money is seemingly coming in on the under after the total did slightly tick up from 7.5 to 8 on the full game. So first 5 innings, you could probably find like a 4 out there or something like that. That is probably the way I would lean in that game. I think it could wind up being a pitching duel to some extent early on in the game. Oh, you found me from Tower Gang? Oh, hell yeah. Oh, well, that's good to hear. Like, I don't know. I don't know where people come from, but I'm like, oh, man. Like, if people don't know about Tower Gang, they don't know who I am. Oh, man. Thanks for being a fan of Tower Gang, man. I wish the show still existed. XXBLGHXX. I don't know if I remember that or not. I'm sorry, man. Sorry if I don't remember that. I should remember that because that's kind of a crazy username. I apologize for not remembering that, though. Oh yeah, like my, loss of job, you mean, and stuff. Well, thanks, man. Thanks. I appreciate it, man. I appreciate any support that people give, just people, watching the shows that I do and whatever. I appreciate it. Yeah, thanks for hanging out, man. I do need like a comedy outlet though. Like that's like missing in my life now. I need that. I need a job. Maybe I got to get back to gambling semi-professionally again or something because I've been not actually putting my money on these bets that I've been giving out on the show recently. And this weekend was a hell of a weekend to not actually be putting my money on it when I went 10-2 on Saturday and Sunday combined. Oh, man. It was a really good weekend. White Sox at the Yankees, which, of course, this already pisses me off. The Yankees in the wild card race with the Red Sox. Of course, the Yankees are going to make the playoffs. It's just a matter of, are they actually going to catch up to Toronto or are they going to wind up in one of the wild card spots? I think they're pretty likely to be in the first wild card spot. They might overtake Toronto still. But, of course, I'm pissed because the Yankees get a really weak opponent here. I'm like, what the fuck? The Red Sox have to play at Toronto and the Yankees get the fucking White Sox at home? I mean, what the fuck is this shit? The one thing that is okay about this, though, is that the Yankees are returning home from a road trip that was a long one. They went to Boston, Minnesota, Baltimore. So they were away from home for a while. So, again, a team returning home from a road trip might be a little bit distracted. I know you can't really afford to be distracted when you're fighting for a playoff position, but they're almost at least close to being guaranteed a wild card spot at this point. I know they'd like to win the division. I know I said I thought they would overtake Toronto, and that is still possible. But it is still kind of a spot where maybe they won't fully focus. I mean, it is the White Sox, so how do you really get totally up for a game against the White Sox? I mean, it seems difficult to do so. Neither of these teams played yesterday. Both bullpens are rested. The White Sox actually have a slightly better bullpen than the Yankees, I'm pretty sure, which is ridiculous. Both of these bullpens are not good, though. Let me see. Where are the White Sox, yeah, they're in the middle of the pack now. They are better than the Yankees. Yankees 23rd in bullpen ERA. White Sox 16th. We know the Yankees obviously have the way better offense. That's not even close. The White Sox have lost a lot of games recently. They've lost 8 of their last 9 games, so they're not playing well, but they are starting a road trip. It is the Yankees. So if they're going to get up for a game, it could be this one. And their starting pitcher might actually be a guy who hates the Yankees because he's from Danvers, Mass. My boy, Shane Smith, probably is a Red Sox fan at heart. He probably is going to get up for this against the Yankees, man. He's had a decent season. He's a rookie this year. 4.06 ERA, 1.22 whip. Solid. Not as good on the road, though. 4.59 ERA. He started out the season pitching well. Then he had a bit of a lull. Wasn't good in the middle of the season. Maybe a little bit distracted getting named to the All-Star team. I think they moved him to the minors or they gave him some rest or something. He's come back and he's been pretty good again since the beginning of August. Had a 2.67 ERA in August. This month he's been a little bit worse, though. 6 ERA. I mean, yeah, more than a little bit worse, but still a 17-4 strikeout walk ratio. So his command numbers are still on. So really his one bad start this month was the last one against Baltimore. Gave up 6 earned runs and 4 1/3. He got hit around a little bit, but he still had a lot of strikeouts, 7 and 1 walk. So his command was still on in that game. So possible that we could consider that to be a little bit of an outlier. Question with Smith is is he going to be wearing down because it's his rookie season? He's up to 135 1/3 innings pitched, which is a decent amount. So it is possible he's wearing down a little bit. He's been good against the Yankees. I think it was basically one start that he made against them, but 24 at bats. He only had 3 hits off him, although 2 of them were home runs from Judge and Wells. 7 strikeouts, 3 walks. He held him to a 125 average. It's still a fairly low 639 OPS. So Smith does do well against them. The one drawback, besides the fact that he didn't look good in his last start, is that he might have done better against the Yankees last time out, which was recent, by the way. It was August 30th at home against the Yankees. He pitched well, went 6 1/3, gave up 2 earned runs, both on those solo home runs. 7-2 strikeout walk ratio, only those 3 hits allowed. But part of the reason why he did really well in that start, I think, was because the Yankees had never faced him before. So I talk about this when you have a good rookie pitcher, that first outing, the offenses sometimes can't really figure him out right away, so they don't do well against him the first couple times out. So the Yankees should probably do better against him this time out because they did see him, and they saw him recently. So that's a little bit of a disadvantage now to Smith. But if he's good enough, he might do well again. I mean, that is the question. Like, is he good enough that recent familiarity for the Yankees doesn't matter? I don't know. He's going up against Luis Heel, who I actually think he might not be as good as Smith. I mean, he's got a pretty solid 3.33 ERA. He started the season pretty late because he was injured for most of the season. I think he was a rookie within the last couple of years, but his problem has always been walks. He comes in, he throws hard, he strikes guys out, but he walks an enormous amount of guys, and he basically gets away with it because he's so unhittable. But I don't like guys that walk that many guys. He's got a 1.5 ERA, which that's not good. He is good at home, though, 2.11 ERA this year. This month, 2.7 ERA. You're like, all right, yeah, that looks really good. His team won all 3 of his starts, but his last start against Minnesota, he didn't even make it 5 innings. He gave up 4 earned runs. They still got the win. 2-2 strikeout walk ratio, but the really alarming thing is that over those 3 starts this month, 10 walks and 7 strikeouts. So his strikeout rate is way down from what you would normally expect from him, and his walk rate is way too high. So there's definitely something wrong with him, man. I mean, these walk numbers are crazy. He's had multiple walks in every start going all the way back into early August. Again, you can't really do that and continue to succeed. So that is an issue, although I know the White Sox offense isn't good. Heel is not great against them in 35 at-bats. 11-3 strikeout walk ratio is all right. 257 batting average allowed isn't too bad, but he has allowed an 887 OPS to them. They actually have 2 home runs against him from Lee and Montgomery. So all that being said, I mean, I think if I gave out a lean in this game, it would actually be a lean to taking the White Sox on the run line. Probably just in the first 5 innings. I mean, it is a tough spot for the Yankees to come back from the road. I mean, that distraction could kind of seep in earlier in the game. I think where the White Sox, actually, you know what? Because I said the White Sox have the better bullpen too, which I think they do. Full game run line. That would be my lean in this game. White Sox full game run line. The money is actually agreeing with that. The Yankees are down from -255 to -215. Again, some of it is the price. Like, you're always paying too much of a price for the New York Yankees. 96% of tickets, only 88% of the cash on them. So the cash percentage is siding a bit with the White Sox there. If I was going to play the game, I would probably take the White Sox plus the 1.5 runs or whatever, just to try to keep the game close. Yes, sir. Jordan, yeah, I thought I saw you recently in the chat here, man. Am I wrong about that? Video games, I used to. Scott, NDS guy, Fortnite. I don't do anything like Fortnite or anything like that. Fortnite to me, it just seems like it's another like Minecraft or something. Like, isn't it like a game where there are all these like kids in there and it's like an open world game and probably like a bunch of pedos are all in there? Is that what goes on in Fortnite? I don't want to deal with that. I did used to play a lot of video games. I was really into the Blizzard games, like when I was in high school, college, huge into the original StarCraft with the Brood War expansion. I got really good at StarCraft, the original. I was never that good at StarCraft 2, but I liked StarCraft, the RTS. I loved Diablo 2, especially. Like, huge fan of Diablo specifically. I like some of those RPGs. In college, I played a lot of Counter-Strike Source. I'm dating myself now, and I think Counter-Strike, it was actually 1.5 early on in college, and then Source. And I actually ran a Counter-Strike Source server. Myself and my roommates did. We ran a server like out of our dorm room, and we had a bunch of like local college kids that all came to our server. That was a lot of fun. So I played a lot of Counter-Strike just because it's a first-person shooter with no storylines, basically. So you just keep playing it over and over again. I got pretty good at that too, and then especially at Source, and then never got that good at Global Offensive though. I guess I can't play the new games anymore, man. And then yeah, sports games. Haven't played any in a while, but which 2K26 are you playing? I used to play all the sports games, dude. So I play like RTS, first-person shooters on PC, but I have a console. I still have a PS5 over here. I've always had PlayStations. I've had every generation of PlayStation, and I use the consoles for Rock Band. Obviously, I do a lot of vocals with Rock Band. Charting, I was in the leaderboards, man, in a lot of the Rock Band stuff for the vocals. And then, the sports games I play on console as well. All of them, basically. Like I was definitely a guy that would buy Madden every year. Basically all of them. Madden, baseball, which I think went over to like the Show. I think was the main line of games there that I would play. MLB, the Show. Because EA stopped making theirs. MVP Baseball was really fun on PC back in the day because I had it like heavily modded to update it for each season. So you had it modded for all the new rosters and stuff. That was a fun time back in like college. And then NBA, 2K, whatever. I used to play the EA version of their NBA back in the day too, NBA Live or whatever. And then NHL, whatever, the EA version of the NHL as well. I don't know if they still even make that. I haven't played a hockey game in a while, though. But I used to basically have all of them. NBA 2K, yeah. Don't have the new... I haven't played NBA 2K in a while, too. I don't even know what the... I think I probably haven't had it for like 2 or 3 years now. I kind of just stopped playing games, so I don't know, man. I'm going on a tangent here. It's going to be a long video this morning, but that's okay because I think all the games are at night. Yeah, so... Yeah, I mean, I used to. I don't play any of it as much, though. Madden was the one that I played the most. And then, but they keep changing. Like, every year it was like, let's fix something that isn't broken. Let's change the kicking interface every year. Let's change this, change that. I'm like, no. Like, the game's already good. Like, just leave it alone. Update the shit. Like, maybe, make the graphics increasingly good, whatever. Like, you don't have to change, like, part of the gameplay interface that already works. Like, I don't know, man. Pisses me off. But I did play the college football games as well, and then college basketball was really fun, which I think they are coming back with a college basketball game. I think with the NIL, I haven't played any of it since the NIL started because that would be crazy to actually have the players' names actually in the game because back in the day, you'd play like the college football game and you wouldn't have any of the actual players' names. I remember they had like the actual like rivalries and stuff like that, but all the players were like fake names and whatever. That is my experience. Yeah, I mean, I played a bunch more games than that too. Like, I used to play a decent amount of games. NCAA football. No mascot matchup. What was the mascot matchup? Did the mascots fight? That sounds fun. How could they get rid of that? That sounds fun. It still might be worth getting, though, with the NIL stuff in there. And they finally added our man, Noah Kaniga. They didn't have him in the game at first just because of his name. I'm like, dude, that's his name. Which, by the way, you have to go back to a couple of weeks ago. I have his hat and jersey, and I was wearing those for my college football show, I think for week 1 or week 2. All right, Boston at Toronto. Again, I'm complaining because the Red Sox have a pretty difficult series here against Toronto. Toronto's a team with something to play for and a good team. They're leading the AL East. Red Sox obviously trying to maintain a wild card spot. This is a huge series for both teams. The Red Sox coming off that series against Tampa Bay. They won the first 2 of that, lost the last one. Now they're traveling up to Toronto. Toronto is returning home from a road trip, so at least there is that, I guess. They went down to Tampa, and then they went to Kansas City. Didn't really play well in Kansas City. Now they're coming home. As I say, it tends to be a distracted spot generally when you return home from a road trip. You got to get back to family life, especially flying all the way back up to Toronto. But they're not going to be distracted in a series against the Red Sox. I mean, yeah, it might be a little bit of a factor, but I think they'll overcome that in a series against the Red Sox. So I wouldn't fade Toronto just based on that. In fact, I don't think Toronto's even going to lose this game. The Red Sox have the better bullpen. Toronto has the better offense. Both these teams have good offense, so the Red Sox offense has been noticeably worse without Roman Anthony, which is really bad. Red Sox, dude, they have so many injuries, man. All these young guys, they're all gone. Roman Anthony, Casas is never healthy. Meyer, the two guys they brought up this year, Meyer and Anthony, both done for the season. They did just get Wilyer Abreu back, so at least there is that. But, yeah, I mean, Red Sox offense is still fine, but it was way better with Anthony. He was kicking ass. Toronto's a really good offense. They're also really good at home, so they do have an offensive edge. Red Sox do have the better bullpen here. Both bullpens are rested because the teams didn't play yesterday. Lucas Giolito pitching for the Red Sox. He's not as good as his numbers look, man, unfortunately. I keep telling people, don't keep your hopes up for this guy. He's not that good. 3.46 ERA, that does look good. 1.28 whip is respectable at least, but I'm telling you, at some point he's going to unravel. Like his advanced analytics tell you that, and even if you just look at the amount of walks versus the amount of strikeouts, you could tell he's not that good. He is better on the road this year, 3.25 ERA. Maybe that'll help him a little bit here. But this month, I mean, look at this, 4.2 ERA. He faced good offenses, Arizona, Yankees, A's. This is going to be another good offense he has to face. But he really wasn't that good. He had a 13-9 strikeout walk ratio this month. I mean, that is a horrible strikeout walk ratio. So like I said, I really don't think you could trust him, man. He's just putting way too many guys on base via the walk. 3 or more walks in 3 of his last 4 starts. That's not going to get the job done. Going up against Toronto, he does have okay numbers against Toronto in 127 at-bats, 27-8 strikeout walk ratio, 220 batting average allowed, 684 OPS. So he has held them down. He's actually done pretty well against some of their best hitters. The one guy that's really done damage is Kirk, who's 6 for 17 with, not Charlie Kirk, Alejandro Kirk, 6 for 17 with 4 home runs off him. So maybe if Giolito's able to pitch around him, he can do well here, but he's going up against Kevin Gausman, who's been pretty good, man. Or is it Gossman? I hear some guys saying it's Gossman. I don't know. Gausman just sounds better to me. It sounds like a gun. I don't know. He's got it sounds German. He's got a 3.38 ERA, 1.01 whip. Good season for him. He's only slightly worse at home, 3.44 ERA. He's been really good recently. He's allowed 1 or fewer earned runs in his last 4 starts. This month, he's got 6 or more innings in 3 starts against decent offenses in all 3 at least. Yankees, Houston, and Tampa Bay. 20-4 strikeout walk ratio over that span. 0.78 ERA, including a complete game shutout of Houston. Yeah, he's in really good form right now, so we have things stacking up against the Red Sox here. He's also good against the Red Sox in 144 at-bats, 48-11 strikeout walk ratio, 215 batting average allowed, and 611 OPS. I mean, unfortunately, I got to lean to Toronto in this game, at least in the first 5 innings, because the Red Sox do have the better bullpen. Toronto is returning home from a road trip, so you got to keep that in mind. But I do think Gausman over Giolito, I think that's a fairly substantial edge for Toronto. So that I would lean to Toronto first 5 innings, and hopefully the Red Sox can somehow escape with their bullpen outpitching Toronto's. I'm not going to hold my breath, though, because Toronto's bullpen is still at least getting a little bit better again after that rough patch. They're kind of mediocre. Red Sox have like the second best bullpen ERA in all of baseball. So they do have the edge there, or third now, my apologies. They're behind the Giants again, barely. But the Red Sox, I always get really worried when the Red Sox bullpen comes out, and I don't know why. Like, it just seems like they're not that good, because that's been the case over so many years here. But yeah, I would lean to Toronto first 5. The money is coming in on Toronto. They're up from -133 to -154. 61% of tickets, 91% of the cash on them. I would say lay the half run in the first 5 innings is probably the right way to look in that one. NCAA, every character is 99 overall. Oh, this is what the mascot matchup was. Oh, I get it. Yeah, so it's like you're just playing football again, but every team, every player is 99 overall, and they're all dressed up as the mascot. Yeah, I get you. Stanford, a bunch of trees. Yeah, Stanford, I don't know what the significance is of that. It probably has something to do with like the redwoods in the area, I assume. The Stanford Cardinal. I don't know if cardinal red has something to do with redwoods. I don't know, or is it a sequoia? I don't know what the fucking difference is, man. These huge trees that are out there in Northern California. I'm sure it has something to do with that. Kind of a stupid mascot, though, to be honest. A fucking tree. You could just chop that thing down in a battle of mascots. Jeffrey, what's up, man? Thanks for hanging out. When is Assad pitching again? Javier Assad? I don't know. He should get at least one more start, I think, before the end of the season if he's still in the rotation. Oh, you knew it wasn't Charlie? Oh. How'd you know that? I don't know, man. Maybe everything's a psyop. Washington and Atlanta, and these two teams actually played yesterday. Atlanta won again, 11-5. Chris Sale pitched. I don't know how well he did in the game, but they did win again in a very high-scoring 11-5 matchup. Atlanta, they've won a ton of games in a row. I don't know how many this is. 10, 11, or no, 9. It says it right here, 9. I can't count either. Chris Sale apparently never had a win against Washington before, and he got the win yesterday. Congratulations, I guess. I don't know how he didn't have a win against Washington because they suck. But I guess Sale has been in the American League for a lot of his career, so that's probably why, I guess. But you would think that being in the division for over a year, it would have happened at some point. But whatever. We're talking about this game now, Washington and Atlanta. Washington has the worst bullpen. Their bullpen is not good. They used a lot of the relief men yesterday, too. Atlanta only used 2. So Atlanta definitely has a bullpen edge here, somewhat significantly. Atlanta has the better offense, too, I believe, although that's less of a significant edge there. Where are they offensively? They're actually, they're not bad. 13th in overall OPS. Washington 25th, so fairly substantial there, too. I think Atlanta has the edge in every aspect of this game, actually. Brad Lord is pitching for Washington. I mean, I keep getting caught, though, trying to fade him. Like, he always beats me, even though he's not even good. He's an abusive spouse. 4.18 ERA for him, 1.3 whip. That's nothing special, obviously. He's actually better on the road, 3.21 ERA in the road. He was the guy who was in the bullpen for a lot of the early part of the season. They moved him into the starting rotation. He's had stretches where he wasn't good at all. This month he's been fairly good again. 3.18 ERA, 15-5 strikeout walk ratio. Pretty solid. He did just face Atlanta in his last start and held him to 2 earned runs in 5 1/3 innings. Maybe he won't do as well this time, though, and his team still lost the game because their bullpen is terrible. So I don't know, man. I don't know if Lord will be able to hold up in this one. His numbers are mediocre against Atlanta. They get a lot of contact against him, but not a lot of power. 37 at bats, 11-2 strikeout walk ratio is good. 297 batting average, 658 OPS. So the batting average is really high for Atlanta against Lord, but he's held him to a low OPS. But you got to say that Hurston Waldrop, the rookie for Atlanta, you got to say he's the better of these two pitchers. He's been pretty impressive. 3.04 ERA, 1.15 whip. He isn't as good at home, though, so a little bit of a worry there. 4.37 ERA at home. He had one really bad start at home. That was really his only bad start. It was 2 starts ago against Houston. He got lit up for 8 earned runs in 4 2/3 innings. And besides that, he hasn't allowed more than 3 earned runs in any start, but he hadn't allowed any more than 1 coming into this month, and he's allowed 2 or more in all 3 starts this month. So maybe a little bit of cause for concern. Has a 17-7 strikeout walk ratio this month and 7.98 ERA. Too many walks, got bombed by Houston. Did face Washington last time up, but he did fairly well. 5 innings, 3 earned runs allowed, 8 strikeouts, no walks. So he did bounce back in that start. Now, one problem is Washington did just see him. So when you have a rookie like this, as I was saying with Shane Smith, they get their first start against an opposing offense. That offense hasn't seen him before. The pitcher can have a bit of an advantage there, but then if they face them again right away, the offense just saw him, so they know what to expect. So the offense could do a little bit better the next time out, but then you still have to ask the question, is Waldrop good enough that he can just overcome that and pitch well again in this game? Maybe, because generally he has been quite good. I know a lot of it is because these offenses that he's facing, I haven't seen him before, though. 25 at bats against Washington, 8-1 strikeout walk ratio. Basically, it was all that game that I just showed you. 240 batting average, allowed 629 OPS, so he has done well. I would go with Atlanta in this game. I mean, baseball's streaky. Both of these teams are playing out the stretch, but Atlanta is still better than the record looks, at least. I know Washington will probably try to show up as well because it is a divisional matchup against an opponent that is usually one of the better teams in the division, but I think Atlanta has the matchup edge in every part of this game. you're paying a price for it. They're down from -186 to -184. Still really high. I would lean to Atlanta on the run line in this game, though. I think that's basically the way that I would play it. I don't really see another way to play this. Maybe Atlanta over their team total, because I guess Waldrop might be a little bit of a concern, I guess. I could see going over Atlanta's team total in this game, too. The overall total's at 9, so you're going to need them to score a lot of runs. But against Lord plus Washington's bullpen, they might be able to do that. 94% of tickets, 96% of the cash on the over. I don't think these percentages are accurate yet. Total flip from 9 juice to the over to 9 juice to the under. I don't know. 96% of tickets, 100% of the cash on Atlanta. I don't think that's accurate, but I would lean, to Atlanta basically in some capacity in that game. Nate, what's up, man? Thanks for hanging out. Detotus Mussolini. That is actually my name. I don't know how you found that out. Mets at Cubs. This, on the surface, looks like a big series for both teams, but it matters way more to the Mets. The Mets are in the thick of it for the wild card. They have been imploding recently, and they gave up their entire wild card lead to the point where I think they're now tied in the last wild card spot with the Reds. So this is a huge game. For the Cubs, I've been talking about this for like almost a week now. I went against the Cubs twice in that Reds series, and I told you the Cubs, they just don't really have that much motivation at this point because they're already basically locked into the 4 seed. They can't catch up to Milwaukee. It's fairly unlikely that San Diego is going to be able to overtake them. So the Cubs locked into that wild card spot for the most part. They actually don't have a whole lot to play for. They're returning home from a road trip, although they only went to Pittsburgh and the Reds, so not a long road trip. They swept Pittsburgh, clinched the division, and then they haven't won since then, which is why I went against them in Game 1 against Cincinnati, and then I went against them again in Game 4 against Cincinnati, mostly because of the motivation. And they were both 1-0 wins for Cincinnati. How about that? We like escaping with 1-0 wins, man. But the Cubs are returning home from a road trip, and I talk about that again, returning home from a road trip, even though it was a bit of a shorter one. They've been away for a while. They got home stuff to get back to. Maybe they won't be totally focused, even though it is the Mets. Cubs, again, just don't have as much motivation as the Mets do. Mets are starting a road trip after an ugly series against Washington. They just lost 2 more games. I mean, the Mets should be motivated heavily here, and they've still been playing really bad. So I don't know what the deal is with the Mets. They're definitely better than their record looks. Starting a road trip off a couple ugly losses to a bad team like Washington, you got to think this is a focus spot for the Mets here, man. As far as the bullpens are concerned, neither of these teams played yesterday, so the bullpens are rested. The Cubs have the better of the 2 bullpens. They're 12th in bullpen ERA. Mets not that much worse, though, at 14th. So it's a bit of a wash with the bullpens. The Mets have the better offense. They're 6th in OPS. The Cubs have dropped to 9th. The Cubs' offense hasn't been as good recently. So the Mets have a slight edge there. They do have the motivational edge, but I'm looking at the starting pitching, and I don't see it for the Mets. I know the motivation is there for the Mets, but I just can't do it with this starting pitching matchup, and that's David Peterson for the Mets. Decent ERA, 3.98, but I always talk about how his whip is too high. Now, he's going to regress at some point. He's got to, even though he keeps getting away with putting guys on base because he is an extreme ground ball pitcher, and he's one of the guys that throws off all the advanced analytics guys because they're like, there's no way this guy can keep pitching this well because his advanced analytics are not good. He's got a 1.34 whip. ERA would be good. The whip, not that good. He's actually better on the road, though. 3.76 ERA on the road. This month, he hasn't been good. In 3 starts, 7.63 ERA, 13-5 strikeout walk ratio. He was awful in his last start in August, too, so he is regressing a bit, as we can see right now. He's not doing well this past month plus, getting bombed by Miami in his last start in August for 8 earned runs in 2 innings. Not good. 13-5 strikeout walk ratio. This month, again, that's not good. Peterson up against the Cubs. They hit him pretty well in 37 at-bats. 13-11 strikeout walk ratio is terrible, and the walks are spread out across the entire lineup. 270 batting average allowed, 843 OPS, so I don't really trust Peterson here, man. I do not. He's going up against Cade Horton, who is the big surprise of the season for the Cubs. This might be his rookie season. He's been really good. 2.66 ERA, 1.1 whip. Cade Horton, he is as good as Scott Horton is at foreign policy. Cade Horton is at starting pitching. Horton has a 1.55 ERA at home. He's really good at home. He's allowed 2 or fewer earned runs in every start going all the way back into early July, and he's allowed more than one only once, and that was at Coors Field. So he's pretty much dominating. It's crazy. This month, 1.1 ERA in 2 starts, 14-2 strikeout walk ratio. I mean, it's just obvious that he's better than Peterson, man. One question is he wearing down a little bit? Maybe not. I mean, it's his rookie season. He's at 115 innings pitched. That's not too bad yet. So I expect him to continue pitching well. I mean, he's showing really no signs of that not being the case right now. I know he's going up against a good lineup, the Mets. He's been okay against them. Very small sample size, 15 at bats. So they have seen him before. So again, I talk about that. Like, he had an advantage the first time against the Mets because they hadn't seen him, but now they have. So they might have a little bit of an extra edge against him this time. He does have 4 strikeouts, no walks against them. The only extra base hit he allowed to them is a home run from Batty. If that's Body, how do you pronounce it? Batty, that's a great name for a hitter, by the way. 267 batting average allowed and 733 OPS allowed from Horton to the Mets, which isn't terrible. Man, I mean, based on the matchup, I would want to actually come in on the Cubs in this one based on that, but I don't think we could do it because the Mets just have way too much motivation against what the Cubs have, so I think we got to just stay away. And the Cubs still in the return home spot, too. The money's coming in against the Cubs. They're down from -112 to -105. 72% of tickets, only 64% of the cash on them. So money coming in against them. Money's coming in on the under as well. It's a low total, down from 7.5 to 7.5, juice to the under. 75% of tickets on the over, 64% of the cash on the under. I mean, I can see some arguments for the under. I mean, on the surface, you got 2 good starting pitchers, and the bullpens are all right, but I still think Peterson's a bit of a risk, man. So that worries me about that whole thing. So even though the market read is saying that he should do actually pretty well here. Minnesota at Texas. These teams are out of it. Texas, I don't think they're mathematically eliminated, but we know they're done. I mean, they've lost 7 games in a row. They might be pissed about that, and maybe they want to show up. They're staying at home after getting swept. Maybe they'll have some motivation just because they don't want to continue being embarrassed. Texas doesn't score a lot, though. Their offense is terrible. I think it's so bad that Minnesota's is better than theirs is. Texas is, right here, 5th worst in OPS. Minnesota's is actually in the middle of the pack at 17th. Minnesota did win to break a loss streak. They lost 5 games in a row. Unfortunately, 3 in a row to Cleveland, including 2 shutouts. But I think they got embarrassed enough that they were like, fuck that, and they finally won a game to end that series. So they're starting a road trip having broken their losing momentum. So that actually is a positive spot for Minnesota. They might actually show up focused for this one just because they broke the loss streak. They're playing a team that still might, it still is, I think, technically not eliminated yet. So maybe a little bit of motivation on the Minnesota side here. Texas has the way better bullpen. Minnesota's bullpen's bad. Both bullpens are rested. Zebby Matthews pitching for Minnesota. As far as the ceiling that these 2 starting pitchers have, I think Matthews is way higher than Corbin. He is the much younger of the 2 pitchers. He just hasn't gotten right, man. I mean, he struggled in the majors. I think maybe they rushed him a little bit. He's been dealing with injuries. I think he's better than his numbers look, but I keep saying that, and it doesn't really pan out, but maybe it will at some point because he's shown good strikeout stuff. This year, 5.97 ERA, 1.58 whip. Obviously, that's not good. 6.23 road ERA, obviously, again, not good. But he's facing a weak offense here and a pitcher-friendly ballpark, so maybe he will do better in this one. Texas only has 2 hitters who've ever seen him before. They only have 1 hit, a double from Higashioka. And between him and Tellez, they're just 1 for 5 off him with a strikeout. So it is pretty possible that Matthews does well here. I mean, Texas, weak offense. They basically haven't seen Matthews before. Maybe he will show up in this game and do well. He is essentially pitching on normal rest here, but he's been bad this month. 9.88 ERA, 12.6 strikeout walk ratio. Definitely got to worry about that. He got pounded by the Yankees last time out, and then the Yankees almost blew their huge lead. That was the game where they almost blew a 10-1 lead, I'm pretty sure. So Matthews, I mean, you got to worry about the fact that he's not in good form either, so that is worrisome. He's going up against Patrick Corbin, who's starting to regress, as I said he would. I mean, he's been really awful over the last few years. I don't think he's very good. He had a good start to the season with Texas, but Not recently. 4.33 ERA, 1.35 whip on the season, so now his numbers on the season aren't that good. He is better in this stadium, though, at home, 3.28 ERA. This month, not terrific, 4.32 ERA, 15-4 strikeout walk ratio is not too bad, though. So he hasn't been horrific, but he's been pretty mediocre. He was pitching really poorly in the previous month, so I don't know if I would say, oh, all of a sudden he's back in form. I mean, it doesn't really seem like it. His last outing, he only went 1 inning against Miami and allowed 2 earned runs, had no strikeouts. That's not really a good sign. Allowed 3 hits. Going up against Minnesota. Minnesota, very small sample size, 16 at bats. So Minnesota's hit him pretty well. It's only 4 hitters who've faced him before. But they do have a 312 average, 1,048 OPS off him, 4-1 strikeout walk ratio, 2 home runs from Buxton. Yeah, I mean, it's tough. I mean, I think I would slightly lean to Minnesota in the first 5 here and just kind of roll with Matthews just having the higher potential, but high potential. Also an ABC crime drama with Caitlin Olsen from D from Sunny in Philadelphia. That's on tonight. New episode tonight. ABC. Yeah, I actually watched the show. I mean, I don't know. I got into it, and I have to see what happens with like the main plot lines. I don't know. I started watching it just because I like Caitlin Olsen, and she plays this like autistic chick that starts like helping solve crimes. I don't think they play it up enough, like the dynamic though, where she's supposed to be really annoying. Like she's supposed to be annoying the main cop dude there, and they're supposed to have that dynamic where it's like mutual respect, but he's constantly annoyed by her. They could do better with that dynamic because it's like a typical like buddy cop dynamic type of thing, but they could do better with it. 85% of tickets, 99% of the cash on Texas here. They're down from minus 130 to minus 133 to minus 130 here. They are public. Texas is still public. I mean, the public just doesn't want anything to do with Minnesota, but I think, I mean, at least if you look at like the momentum that both teams have, I think Minnesota might be worth a look there. But I would do it first 5 because I hate their bullpen. Don't want to deal with it at all. Maybe that's the way I lean in that game. Pete, what's up, man? Which town is the same as Cal Raleigh? Not you're from the same town. What town is it? Not Raleigh, North Carolina. That would be insane if that's where he's from. If his name is the same. Kansas City at Anaheim. Kansas City's technically not eliminated yet, but they're probably starting to feel like it. But I don't hate Kansas City in this matchup. Anaheim's returning home from a long road trip. We know that Anaheim's, based on their run differential, they're actually the worst team in the American League. It's just that they hit a lot of home runs. So that kind of keeps them, like, it keeps their record a little bit better. But they're returning home from a road trip. They went to Seattle, Milwaukee, Colorado. Returning home from that as a team with nothing to play for. Seems like a bad spot to me, man. I mean, they're going to return home from that. It's going to be a distracted spot. They want to get back to family life. I think it's bad. Kansas City, they probably kind of know that they're out of it, but they're still trying. I mean, they just beat Toronto. You could argue maybe it's a little bit of a letdown spot here off the Toronto series. They did just lose to Toronto. They're starting a road trip. Usually that is a focus spot when you start a road trip, and they had a day off to do it. Both teams have days off, and I think the day off actually hurts when it's a bad team returning home from a road trip. I've seen the stats on this. I forget exactly what they are, but the day off actually really, it hurts them even more, and when they're an underdog, they actually do really poorly. So that's the spot that Anaheim is in. So it looks like a fade of Anaheim here, man. Kansas City sitting right at 500, which is a little bit of an extra motivator as well, just because you want to be above 500 to end the season. Kansas City has the better pitching all around here. I would say they have the better bullpen. Anaheim does have the better offense. Kansas City's offense stinks, but I would trust Kansas City more. Cole Reagans is pitching for them, and I think he's been a little bit forgotten about, man. He was their ace. He was supposed to be their ace coming into this season, and he got hurt. And looking at his numbers, they're not good. 5.16 ERA this season, but it's in a small sample size. He just never really got going this season because he got hurt. 1.26 whip isn't quite as bad. He isn't as good on the road right now, 5.49 ERA. I mean, I know his home stadium is pitcher-friendly. He was out for 3 months, man, since July, and he came back, and I was on Kansas City in this game against Seattle, and they got the win. He kept us in the game. He didn't pitch that long into the game, and then the bullpens helped us out there in that one, the bullpen for the Royals. Pretty solid bullpen. Reagan's only went 3 2/3. He gave up 2 earned runs. Seattle is a good offense, though. 4 strikeouts, 2 walks. So decent start. Reagan's pitched well. I think in like 3 rehab starts in AAA, he was good. So he had a ton of strikeouts. He had like 2 strikeouts an inning down there. So I think he is ready to be back, man. I think he's going to keep getting better again. So I do like him in this matchup. Even though he didn't look that great the last matchup against Anaheim, 46 at bats, 13-4 strikeout walk ratio, 217 batting average allowed, 693 OPS. So he's been pretty good against Anaheim. He's going up against Sam Aldigeri. Is that how you pronounce it? Mr. Italian here. I'm Italian, so I should know. Aldigeri. He's pitching. He's in his 2nd season in the majors. He only made 3 starts last year, and he's made 2 relief appearances this year. None of it has been good. Last year, he had a 4.85 ERA, 1.92 whip was really bad. Small sample size, though, so maybe eventually he'll be good. But this year, small sample size, 10.38 ERA, 2.54 whip. He's made 2 starts, one in June and one in July against the Red Sox and then against Texas. I mean, that's a red flag. He didn't allow any earned runs against the Red Sox. That was a relief appearance. And then he came in relief against Texas and allowed 5 earned runs in 2 innings, 4 walks against a weak lineup like that. That's not a good sign. Kansas City's never seen him before, so sometimes with these young pitchers, they have a little bit of an edge when, when the offense hasn't seen them before. But he hasn't really shown any signs of being able to fool major league hitters yet. I haven't looked at what he's done in the minors because I assume he's been in the minors, but Kansas City is the right side in this game. They're up from minus 132 to minus 157. 92% of tickets, 93% of the cash coming into them. You got to lay a price with it, though. So the question is, do you really want to lay like a run line with a Kansas City team that can't really score? They're really public, but it looks like the public and the professionals are all on the same side in this one. It does mean the books are probably going to need Anaheim to win to make money on this game. I still think Kansas City is the right side, though. It's close to a play for me. And the play that I am on, I think, is going to be a very public side as well. So I am a little bit worried about that. But I'm going to stay off of this one just because this Kansas City offense on the road, I mean, they actually hit better on the road, though, I think, because their home stadium is very pitcher unfriendly. But I still worry about this Kansas City offense in general. But that is the way that I would lean. I mean, I think huge starting pitching edge, in my opinion, and it's kind of under the radar, under the Reagan's radar. I'm tempted. I'm actually tempted to do this. Should I do it? I mean, it's such a bad spot for Anaheim, that long road trip return angle. You know what? I'm going to do it. Fuck it. Let's have some fun. I know a lot of times I add this last play. This is my weakest, but I add this last play, and sometimes I don't do as well. Let me see what the line is on this. Kansas City. I don't want to lay the money line on this at minus 160. So you can get looks like you can get the run line at plus 105. So you're getting it at basically like playing a spread, but you're not even having to lay 11 to 10 to do it. Fuck it, let's do it. We're gonna add it Kansas City, so you get one on the fly from me. Kansas City minus 1.5 at plus 105. There it is. Let's do it, man. Cole Reagan. So hopefully he pitches pitches deeper into this game and helps us out here. I mean, he is a solid pitcher, man. So, and people probably don't remember The Good Doctor. Yeah, he's definitely an autist. I've seen some clips of that. I'm like, man, that show looks weird. High Potential doesn't really go down that route. High Potential, she's like a single mother, and there's this backstory where she's looking for the father of her older child who went missing inexplicably, who I think is probably black or Hispanic, because her older daughter is mixed race. I'm like, yeah, man. And then her 2 younger kids, her son is a total autist in the show, though, like more than she is. He's this fat like nerd. And then the father of those kids is like this fat dude. I hate his character. I think he's a terrible actor. He's basically like a lame cuck. I'm like, man, like what are we doing here, man? But I just like the main duo, like Caitlin Olsen's character, and then the main like cop dude that's there, the black dude or whatever he is. I've seen him in some other shows too. He's pretty solid. Cullowhee, is that how you pronounce it? Cullowhee? How do you pronounce it? North Carolina, right? Yeah, North Carolina. I've heard of it. I don't know how to pronounce it, though. So Raleigh is actually from North Carolina. I like it. Not from Raleigh, though. Zebby and Cal, they're both from a town of 3,000 people. All right, yeah, they're both from... Dude, those are like kind of baseball That's like baseball mecca, though, isn't it? Like the Southeast United States, small towns, small town white boys. They're all pitchers. Well, they're mostly pitchers. Cal is not a pitcher, obviously, but you get a lot of pitchers from that area, I'm pretty sure. Man, this is a long video today. Colorado at Seattle. Oh, God. Houston is probably not happy about this. I mean, Seattle, they're ahead in the division right now. I think they're actually 3 games ahead. They just swept Houston, man, which I said that needed to happen as far as the wild card potential here. We needed one of the teams to drop down to the wild card race. It would be crazy if Houston missed the playoffs after leading the AL West this whole time. Even crazier, though, if Detroit misses after they had a huge lead in their division. But Seattle's ahead in their division. They could maybe... This spot might be a letdown spot, dude. I mean, it's possible they take their foot off the gas just a little bit here now that they just swept Houston. That was a huge series for them, and they're returning home to the Pacific Coast from Kansas City and Houston. They're playing some really strong baseball right now. That they've won 10 games in a row, and they've won 14 of the last 15. Oh, and by the way, the one time I've faded Seattle twice, my mistake. I've only faded them twice this entire time. One of them was the game that they actually lost with Cole Reagan's pitching for Kansas City. So I got that one right, and then I missed on the Hunter Brown one here. Brian Wu, by the way, got hurt in that game for Houston. He left after 5 innings. He was good in the game, got hurt. So Seattle's going to need him to be back. He is their best pitcher. But he got hurt in the game. We still didn't win on Houston. Crazy. But Seattle's returning home from a road trip. Difficult spot. Might not be totally focused facing Colorado, who's like a historically bad team here, with stuff to do back at home, coming off a massive sweep against Houston. I know Seattle does still have to maintain the division lead, but I think they have a little bit of room to maybe rest a little bit here. So I don't think it's a good spot for Seattle. Do you really want to put money on Colorado? I don't know, even though that's probably the way I lean in this one. Seattle does have a way better offense, although it's mitigated a bit at home because this is a hitter-friendly park. Seattle's really good offensively on the road, not as much at home, but their pitching is way better at home. I mean, it's that pitcher-friendly of a ballpark. Colorado's coming in, having won 2 of the last 3 against Anaheim, starting a road trip. Better spot for them, starting a road trip with focus. Might focus on a team like Seattle. Seattle has a way better bullpen, though. So obviously something to keep in mind here. It's pretty difficult to actually want to fade Seattle here. But Seattle doesn't have a very good starting pitcher this time, although neither does Colorado. Colorado has McCade Brown pitching. I believe he's a rookie, or maybe he pitched last year too. No, just this year. He's made 5 starts. Hasn't gone well for him. I mean, these Colorado pitchers, they just all get wrecked basically when they come into the league. 9.17 ERA, 2.09 whip. That's bad. He hasn't made it 5 innings in any of his 5 outings. Colorado's lost all 5. There's nothing to really like about this. He has more walks than strikeouts, 13 walks, 11 strikeouts, almost 1 walk per inning, getting close to that, and more than 1 hit per inning. Yeah, I mean, he's got to have there's got to be something about him where he has some talent here, man, but it's just Colorado just wrecks pitchers. It's a very difficult stadium to pitch in. Maybe he'll do a little bit better in Seattle, though, because he must have some talent if he's here. By the way, he's from Normal, Illinois, not Effington. If you know the Ben Folds, if you know Ben Folds' catalog there, I love that song, Effington. It's hilarious, dude. Ben Folds, I've seen him a bunch of times live, too. He's a lot of fun live. Really, I like him a lot, man. Really talented pianist, songwriter, can still sing, I mean, some of his songs are hilarious, and that's probably the most hilarious. Effington isn't even the name of the actual town. Like, I think he was driving by Effingham. Effingham sounds even more ridiculous. Effingham, Illinois. Normal is actually a place, but he makes fun of Effington being the name of the town and just, obviously plays into that pun. Like, yeah, they're all effing in their cars, effing in their yards, whatever. He is making fun of like small town America in that song though, which I don't like because small town America rules. But yeah, he talks about like the mindset of the people that want to live there and live their entire life and die there in a town called Effington. But it's a fun song. It's a hilarious song, man. I still laugh every time I hear it. But that's what that made me think of. Side note there with McCade Brown. He's from Normal, Illinois. He's going up against Bryce Miller here, who he's been a good pitcher in the past, but he's trying to come back from injury this year, and he's really had a bad season for Seattle. 5.58 ERA, 1.41 whip. Not good. He's actually worse at home slightly, 5.6 ERA. I doubt that really continues. Throughout his career, he's been better at home. I mean, basically every Seattle pitcher is because it's a way better pitching ballpark. He hasn't pitched that much this year. It's been rough. It's been rough, guys. Although he is actually pitching a little bit better recently. This month, 5.06 ERA doesn't look very good, but he's allowed 4 fewer earned runs in the 3 outings. Just not going too deep into the outings right now. And he has an 18-4 strikeout walk ratio, so his command, it looks like it is coming back. So I kind of hesitate to fade Miller a little bit here, too. And Colorado may not be able to hit him that well. The only 3 hitters who've seen him before, 17 at-bats. The only extra base hit is a double from Moniak, who also has 6 strikeouts against him in 10 at-bats. They have 8 strikeouts, no walks against him, 176 average, 412 OPS. So it's a bad spot for Seattle. I think they might not totally be focused. Miller does look like he's fadeable this year, but in this matchup, I just don't know if we could do it, man. Oh, shit. Okay. I don't know if this is accurate or not, but it looks like on the board now, both starting pitchers in this game are actually undecided. So I just handicapped it, and now we don't even know. Isn't that great? Well, if those pitchers are starting, you get some extra information there, but we can't really handicap it otherwise. Seattle's down from minus 280 to minus 275. Total's only 8. I mean, it is at Seattle. I mean, if you really want to try to take the shot with Colorado just because it's a situational play, maybe go first 5 innings plus half a run, whatever it might be, plus even maybe a run. Try to go with Colorado hanging in there early in the game. Maybe worth a look, but it worries me. Ben Folds 5. Ben Folds from North Carolina. I didn't realize that he was because I just know him as like kind of this like, I don't know, New York musician. Like he has like kind of almost a hipster nerd vibe to him. Although, I mean, I'm a nerd. I mean, in my own writing, I kind of draw from Ben Folds a little bit. Even though I know you guys see me play ukulele, I put out some of my original songs on ukulele as well. I've written some recently. Jordan, thanks for hanging out, man. I have one more best bet, by the way, which is Cincinnati Reds, half run line, half money line. I'll give it to you right now, but you can come back and watch the analysis later. He went to UNC. Interesting. Ben Folds. You're going to NDS. Oh, you're ditching me for NDS, you traitor. No, that's fine. I shouldn't have gone this long on the video, man. I'm interacting with you guys. I like it. So thanks for hanging out, man. Have a good day as well. Pete, from Greensboro, Winston-Salem. Interesting. Yeah, I didn't realize that at all. But yeah, in my old like songwriting, I've put out a couple of my old songs on ukulele too. I know you guys saw me do that new album, all that stuff I wrote. That was the first stuff I actually wrote on ukulele, but I have the old stuff. I put out like 3 of my old songs. I translated them to ukulele, but my old music is like nerd rock, and I lay down all the tracks in MIDI and whatever. I have one song that is like heavily inspired by Ben Folds. I don't know if I'm ever going to release it. I don't know if I could do it on uke either. I'd have to kind of remember the chord structure or whatever. It's not a complex song, but the way that I wrote it, like in MIDI or whatever, has a lot of piano in it, so it's a pretty Ben Folds-ish song. It's called Rise Over Run. It's another bad nerd love song that I wrote in college about a chick in college. I don't know. I mean, I think it's probably somewhere online. I don't know if I want to give out the name of my one-man band and dox myself, although I've already been pretty doxed, so I don't know. What was I? Oh yeah, I'm talking about this. The Seattle game. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't know if there's anything else to say about that. Songs about my baddest beats. I wrote one rap song that was inspired by the fact that I kept going to movie theaters and everybody just assumed that I was a nerd and a computer guy just based on my look. When I went to see Drive, you remember the Ryan Gosling movie? We're going to have a lot of Toad lore here, man. I went to see Drive when it was out in the theaters. Didn't love the movie, by the way. I know a lot of people like it. I don't know. It's a bit art house. I wasn't a huge fan of it. But I went to see that with one of my friends, and the chick at the register, who I think was probably way too young for me. When was Drive out? So Drive was out. I was early 20s. I think I probably just graduated from college, not that long before that. This chick was probably still in high school. I look young, whatever. She starts hitting on me, and she was writing graphic novels, and she wanted me to review her graphic novels. I'm like, man, I don't know, man. I don't think I could do it being, a man in the workforce now, and you're potentially still in high school. I'm like, yeah, I can't do that, even though it was probably only about a 5-year age gap between us, but still. I'm like, nah, but I thought that was, yeah, I mean, it was funny though. Like, she wanted me to review, like, what makes me qualified to review your graphic novel? Her art was solid though. I actually liked it. It was good. I looked at some of it. And then, what was I talking about? Oh yeah, then the song that really inspired this rap song. The rap song is called "No, I Will Not Fix Your Computer." This chick, I was going to another movie with my same friend. I don't remember which movie this was. So this was a couple of years later. We went to a different movie theater this time, in a more black town that's actually kind of closer to where I am now. Although where I live is not is not that type of demographic. But we went to this movie theater. This black chick in the lobby of the theater wanted me to go out to her car in the parking lot and fix like the Wi-Fi on her laptop. I'm like, I'm not gonna do that. Like, she's probably gonna like try to rob me or something. This was back before everything got really bad. I'm like, nah, I'm about to go into this movie with my friend here. No. But I wrote a rap song entirely based on that interaction, pretty much. That plus the graphic novel thing. Yeah, so that's the only song I have that really has a beat. Like, my songs are all like nerd rock, basically, like garage rock. Destiny arc, it would not have been anywhere near as bad as Destiny, man. Like, my guess is that I think I was like 22, 23 at the time, and that chick was probably like 18. So I don't. That's not really a Destiny arc. She might have been older too. I don't know. I mean, I was just guessing completely. I'm not good at guessing ages, to be honest. She was working at that movie theater. That's all I know. And writing, drawing some pretty solid art for graphic novels, I will say. Wonder where she is now. No clue. Maybe I'll go find her now. Maybe. Probably no way. Don't remember her name at all. Kate, a girl we met at UNC. Yeah, I know Kate. He usually plays that when you see him live because the crowd gets into it. Kate! Everybody shouts Kate. Yeah. It's one of the more upbeat songs. Yeah. Hell yeah, man. All right, let's finish this off here. Dodgers at Arizona. This is an interesting one, man. I think both teams are going to be motivated here, and Arizona probably even more motivated because they're in the wild card race, even though they sold off at the trade deadline, and it's against the Dodgers and at home. So that's enough for a lot of motivation, I think, from Arizona. They could sneak into the playoffs, which is insane. Playoffs, and they're hosting the Dodgers. I mean, you're going to have motivation there. Maybe they'll be, I don't know, they're going to be tired after putting in a lot of effort against Philadelphia to get here. They just won 2 straight against Philadelphia. Yeah, but I don't think you could really have a letdown spot when it's the Dodgers coming in, man. Dodgers, maybe their spot's a little bit bad because they did win 4 games in a row, and then they lost the last game to San Francisco. So they're coming into this game. I know it's the start of a road trip. You do get focus for the start of a road trip. The Dodgers still need to win to hang on to the division because they still could potentially lose it to San Diego. But I don't know, man. When you lose a win streak like that, like I say, sometimes it does hang you over a little bit. So I think Arizona sets up a little bit better situationally here. The Dodgers actually have the better bullpen. That's how bad Arizona's bullpen is. It's bad. I mean, these bullpens are both rested. Same goes for Kansas City, Anaheim. All these games I was talking about. The only games where both bullpens are not rested are Washington, Atlanta, and then 2 of the last 3 games I'm about to talk about. All the other games involve 2 rested bullpens, and just those 3 games have bullpens that had to pitch yesterday. In this Dodgers-Arizona game, Dodgers obviously have the better, well, actually not obviously, but they do have the better offense, but it's not by a lot. Dodgers, I think they're number 1. No, they're number 2 now behind the Yankees in OPS. Yankees actually a pretty significant number 1, but the D-backs are sitting here at number 5, even though they traded off a couple of their bats. They're still a good offense. Shohei Ohtani pitching for the Dodgers in this one. He hasn't gone more than 5 innings yet. He's been okay as a starting pitcher, though. I mean, throughout his career. But remember, he hadn't pitched for like 2 years, and now he is pitching this year. Whoops, hang on. 2025, I want to switch this to pitching. Stupid ESPN. So he hasn't allowed a run in his 2 outings this month. I think he got hurt or something against Baltimore, got pulled early, but he does have a 0 ERA in 8 2/3 innings this month, 10-2 strikeout walk ratio. So he's in decent form. Hasn't gone more than 5 innings in any of his outings, so I don't expect him to go more than 5 here. He may go exactly 5. He hasn't been as good on the road, though. 4.95 road ERA. I can't really see his pitching numbers against Arizona, because ESPN doesn't let you do that. He's listed as the DH now, so you can't see the batter versus pitching stats from the pitching side. So you have to kind of guess or find it on another website, which I hate. He's going up against Brandon Pfaadt, who has not had a great season. He's been better than this in some of his past seasons. 5.02 ERA, 1.34 whip, not good, obviously. He is better at home, 3.15 home ERA, so significantly better at home because his ERA on the road is over 7. So his ERA is 4 runs better at home, even though at home it's a hitter-friendly ballpark. So figure that out. I don't know, man. He's pitched well this month, though. He's pitched well actually basically just for this past month. Three outings in a row. He's been good in 2 of the 3. He actually got bombed in his 1 road start this month at Minnesota. That's not a good sign. They're not a good offense. 5 earned runs in 4 2/3, but he allowed 1 earned run against the Red Sox. And then he had a complete game 1-hit shutout last time out against the Giants. 2.75 ERA this month overall, 16-2 strikeout walk ratio. That's obviously good. His command is on right now, but will he be in any sort of letdown spot? Whenever you come off a great game like that, sometimes you will be hung over a little bit. He didn't throw too many pitches, though. He threw 97, which is like right in line with what he usually throws, so I don't think he's going to be like overextended or anything like that. He is facing the Dodgers. They have hit him fairly well in the past. 130 at-bats, 33-7 strikeout walk ratio, 296 average allowed, 791 OPS. Yeah, I mean, don't necessarily want to jump in on the Pfaadt side here either. With the bullpens not being that good, I could see this game going over, to be honest. I mean, Ohtani might not last that long here. Pfaadt is better at home for sure, but the Dodgers could probably hit him around enough to get this thing into the bullpens. The total's sitting at 9, 83% of tickets, 94% of the cash on the over. That's probably the way I would look in this game. Dodgers down from -155 to -154, 81% of tickets, 86% of the cash. So money coming in on the Dodgers is a road favorite here. Not sure I agree with that, though. I think you might be able to maybe take a stab with Arizona here. Maybe you don't want to do it with the full game, though, because the bullpen sucks. Could go maybe just with Pfaadt to pitch well, because he does pitch well at home. Ohtani, don't know if he's going to be out before the 5th inning or not, although he's going to have to face him for most of the 5th inning, so it does seem a little bit dangerous, but getting an underdog price at home, maybe. On money line, first 5 innings, maybe worth a look there. Milwaukee at San Diego. Here's the next one up. Fired from DC or Marvel celebrating political assassination. Who are we talking about? I don't know what we're talking about now. What did I talk about? I don't even know. San Diego's won 3 in a row. I mean, they're still fighting to try to win the NL West. They're pretty secure in their wild card spot, though. San Diego's pretty locked into the 2nd wild card spot right now. They're only 2.5 back of the Cubs, so I guess they could potentially overtake the Cubs. The Reds and the Mets are not catching them, or the Diamondbacks. So San Diego fairly locked into that spot. So motivation maybe a little bit questionable. But they did win 3 games in a row. They won last night against Milwaukee in a comeback. It was an extra innings game. I think it was a close game, low scoring earlier in the game. Milwaukee had a small lead in the game, and then San Diego won walk-off in the 11th, and apparently that was a playoff clinching win. And I talk about this. When a team clinches a playoff spot, sometimes they don't do as well the next game out. So that would give me pause on looking towards San Diego here, man, because they probably celebrated last night. I know it's Milwaukee, and you want to show up for Milwaukee. You still would want to win the division potentially, but again, if you celebrate for making the playoffs, it's a little bit hard to get back up after that. Like I talked about that with the Cubs, although the Cubs were not facing a good team coming up. Well, they were facing the Reds. I mean, the Reds are inferior to them at least. Milwaukee still might draw your focus. Milwaukee might be a little bit mad that they lost yesterday, but Milwaukee, they just seem to be kind of coasting at this point. They're getting prepared for the playoffs. I mean, they're not guaranteed the 1 seed, though. Like I said, they're still there right now. Philadelphia is 2.5 games back. So not a whole lot of games left. Milwaukee probably will still get it, but they got to win some games. It may not be this game, though. San Diego has the better bullpen, but they did use a lot of it yesterday. They used a bunch of relievers yesterday, 6 relief pitchers. Milwaukee did use 5 as well. So you got to still give San Diego the bullpen edge here. Milwaukee has the better offense, and they're good on the road, although this is a pitcher-friendly park here. I don't trust Milwaukee's starting pitcher, though, man. Bruce Zimmerman, like, who is this guy? He hasn't pitched in the majors since 2023. He's 30 years old. He pitched from 2020 through 2023, all with Baltimore. Had a 5.57 ERA, 1.46 WHIP, mostly as a starter. Yeah, I mean, his strikeout walk ratio was good, 3.5. So he didn't walk a lot of guys, but he's not a big strikeout guy. His innings pitched total was way higher than his strikeout amount. So really the only good thing about him is he doesn't walk a lot of guys, but it looks like he gives up a lot of hits. Yeah, he gave up way more than one hit per inning, so he gets hit pretty hard. I don't think we can trust Zimmerman, man. I don't know what he's doing in this rotation. Maybe it's they need somebody to just fill a role here. I don't know what's going on, but if the fact that he hasn't pitched in the majors for a couple of years, on the one hand, maybe he'll be excited to get back out there, but on the other hand, what are you going to get out of him? Who knows? His career numbers are bad. He's listed as a relief pitcher, so he might just be an opener or something. He might go out there and throw like a couple innings. The last time he was in the majors, he was only doing that. He was pitching like 2-3 innings every outing back in 2023 for Baltimore. So that's probably what you're gonna get out of him here. I don't like it at all, though, to be honest, man. I really don't. San Diego does have two hitters who've faced him before. Laureano has the only hit, which is a single. They're 1-for-4 with a strikeout off him. Not a whole lot to see there, but I don't trust him. I don't trust Randy Vasquez either, though, for San Diego, even though 3.94 ERA is good. 1.36 WHIP still too high. I keep talking about how he walks too many guys, but I don't know. He remains a serviceable pitcher. He is better at home, 3.41 ERA at home. This month, 3.77 ERA. And hey, his walk numbers are way down. 15-1 strikeout walk ratio this month. So his command is actually kind of there right now, which is shocking because he usually walks a ton of guys. Didn't have a good start last time out at the Mets. Only lasted 2 1/3. Had 4 earned runs allowed there. So maybe he's not great yet. We got to hold our horses here because both of his good starts are against Colorado. I know one of them was in Coors Field, but it's Colorado. Their offense is terrible. So I still don't really trust Vasquez here. He is good against Milwaukee somehow. They're only 4 for 30 off him lifetime. No extra base hits, but 7 walks and 5 strikeouts. So still more walks than strikeouts. A 133 batting average, allowed 431 OPS. Yeah, I mean, I still don't trust Vasquez. The money is saying San Diego, though. Milwaukee's public, because, of course, the public will take the better of the two teams. 76% of tickets, only 60% of the cash on them, though. San Diego down from -116 to -108. I mean, if you wanted to take the shot with San Diego, I would probably lean that way. The money is seemingly going that way just because it's basically you have a totally untrustworthy pitcher that Milwaukee's going with, and it's basically going to wind up being a bullpen game with an already used up bullpen against a guy who at least is a starter, almost. So San Diego does have the edge in the pitching here, I suppose, and the money is agreeing with it. Public doesn't really like it because they like the team with the better record. Milwaukee is still good on the road. They're the best road team in baseball, but San Diego is one of the better home teams in baseball. Really good record at home. So take from all that what you will, as I always say. St. Louis at San Francisco. These teams are just playing out the stretch. San Francisco lost to start the series yesterday. They were returning home from a road trip and returning home from playing the Dodgers, so it wasn't the greatest spot for them. They lost 6-5. Both of these bullpens are pretty good, although the offenses are not. So we have 2 good bullpens and 2 weak offenses. St. Louis used 5 relief pitchers yesterday. San Francisco only used 2. So San Francisco does have a bullpen edge in this one as well. And at this point, they probably actually have the better offense, too. San Francisco's at 23rd in OPS. St. Louis is at 24th, so it's not significant. 2 weak offenses, like I said. As far as the starting pitching, on the surface, it looks like San Francisco has a big starting pitching edge. St. Louis has Andre Payante pitching, if that's how you pronounce his name. Hasn't had a good season. 5.29 ERA, 1.44 WHIP. He's better on the road, 4.83 ERA. It hasn't been good, though, over the last couple months. I mean, it hasn't really been there for him. The 3 starts this month, 4.5 ERA is okay, but 6-8 strikeout walk ratio is not. That's way too many walks. He's walked 3 or more guys in 5 of his last 7 starts. That's not a good sign, and St. Louis has lost a bunch of them. They've lost all of those starts that he walked more than that. They lost all of those, including one of the ones where he didn't. So he's not doing well. He's not very good against San Francisco either. In 56 at-bats, 9-3 strikeout walk ratio, fine, but 357 batting average, 1,007 OPS. That's not good against this offense. And he did just face them back on September 6th. He did well in that start. He gave up 2 earned runs, 6 innings, 3 strikeouts, 1 walk, but San Francisco typically hits him well And their numbers that I just gave include that outing too. So I think he will regress here because they did just see him. They normally do hit him well. So I don't like Payante in this one. He's going up against Logan Webb, who is basically the ace for San Francisco, although his whip is too high. He's a guy that comes out there and gets you a lot of innings usually. 3.27 ERA, 1.24 whip is a little bit high, but generally I do like him. 3.18 ERA at home, that's good. This month, 4.09 ERA isn't terrific. 24-7 strikeout walk ratio is pretty solid. He's been okay. He basically had one bad outing against the Dodgers at home, which I think is pretty forgivable. Followed it up his last start doing well against the Dodgers. The Dodgers usually hit him well, but he went 7 innings in that one, allowed 1 earned run. He's in pretty good form right now. That bad start against the Dodgers was the only start in the last 7 where he gave up more than 3 earned runs. So he's doing all right. He gave up 2 earned runs in all the other ones. Against St. Louis, those numbers are not terrific. In 51 at-bats, 16-1 strikeout walk ratio is really good, though. 314 batting average allowed. They do hit him for contact, but they don't hit him for that much power. 719 OPS, and they don't walk a lot against him. So I still think Webb has the upper hand here. San Francisco's all the way up from -170 to -193, though. 93% of tickets, 98% of the cash coming in on them. I agree with San Francisco in this game. I think they have the pitching edge throughout the game here, but you got to lay like a run line with them if you want to do that. Seems a little bit questionable, so I worry about that a little bit. Yeah, I mean, if you want to go San Francisco over their team total, maybe worth a look, but it's a low total at 7.5. It's a pitcher-friendly ballpark. Money coming into the under, 54% of tickets, 58% of cash on the under. Probably, I think the way of playing it, I would still say is San Francisco on the run line, but seems a little bit difficult to do. And then Houston is going to the A's. Houston, off of that sweep at home at the hands of Seattle after they swept Texas the series before that. Houston's fighting. I mean, they're trying to maintain this last wild card spot. They could potentially still win the division. Fairly unlikely now. Coming up a big series, but one of the good things about it is they're starting a road trip, so they just get to get the hell out of there, go on the road. I know it's this bad AAA ballpark that the A's play in Sacramento, but getting out of home, going on the road, could be a focus spot for Houston. You're probably going to get focused there. The A's have the chance to spoil their season, though, so the A's might get up for this game, too. They've been playing some pretty motivated baseball. I mean, they've won 7 of their last 10 games. That's pretty good, although they've lost 3 of their last 5. But they're on a nice little run right now. They're probably a little bit angry because they did just lose twice to Pittsburgh on the road in shutouts. Even though Pittsburgh is better at home, that's not good for the A's. They're coming back over from a road trip, though, where they went to Boston and Pittsburgh. So they crossed the country, and now they're having to travel back to the Pacific Coast. That's not great for the A's. Again, it's a spot where sometimes they'll lack focus. They'll be a little bit distracted by that, but it is Houston as their opponent, so maybe they will still get up for this. Houston has the better bullpen here. A's have the better offense, so do with all that information what you want to. The A's have a really bad bullpen. The offenses are not as significantly different, but the A's still have a good offense. They haven't really done great offensively at home, though. They've been pretty bad at home. So looking at that, the A's have actually been better on the road, which is crazy. Houston is 1 game above 500 on the road. A's are well below 500 at home, so take from all that what you will, but the A's don't really have a huge home advantage at all. They kind of have a home disadvantage. Christian Javier is going to pitch for Houston here. He just walks too many guys. He came back not that long ago from injury, and he's been okay. 4.45 ERA, 1.24 whip, a little bit high. He's not as good on the road, though. This ballpark might be bad for him because I think he does give up too many fly balls a lot of the time. That's not good in this ballpark. 7.88 road ERA, not good. This month, mediocre, 5.51 ERA in 3 starts, but he did face the Yankees and Toronto in there. Difficult offenses. Did better against Texas last time out. Allowed 2 earned runs in 6 innings, 4 strikeouts, 1 walk. Has 14-5 strikeout walk ratio this month. So, I mean, overall, he's just been very mediocre this month at best. He does have good numbers against the A's, though. They only have 5 hitters who've seen him, 19 at-bats. They only have 1 hit off him. Max Schumann, not Rex Heuerman, the Long Island serial killer. Max Schumann is the only guy that has any hits off him, and it's a single. He has a 7-5 strikeout walk ratio against them, though, so that's not great. But he's held him to an 0.53 batting average and 303 OPS, so maybe Javier will be able to come in and pitch okay here. Going up against Jeffrey Springs for the A's, 4.17 ERA, 1.22 WHIP, pretty decent numbers for him this year. He's not as good at home. I mean, this is a difficult park to pitch in. Like I said, a lot of home runs fly out of this park. 5 ERA at home, so he's not as good here. This month, mediocre in 3 starts, 4.2 ERA, 13-4 strikeout walk ratio. Wasn't great against the Red Sox really either outing, even though he didn't allow any runs last time out. Earned runs, I should say. Red Sox, that was a bullshit game, man. The Red Sox lost that game 2-1. Springs had 5 hits allowed and 3 walks. So he put 2 guys on base per inning in 4 innings, and the Red Sox only got 1 unearned run out of it. Just pathetic. So he should have been worse in that game as far as the amount of runs that he allowed. He allowed 5 in this stadium. The outing before that against the Red Sox. He does have good numbers against Houston, though. 20 at-bats, not a big sample size, but it's spread out across basically all their hitters. They have no extra base hits against him. 6 strikeouts, 2 walks, 150 average, 377 OPS allowed. Springs has done well against them. I could see somewhat of an argument for an under in this game. I know it's crazy at the A's stadium. You don't really want to deal with the A's bullpen. These bullpens are rested, at least, coming into this one. Maybe a first 5 under. I mean, it seems pretty risky, though. The total in the full game's gone up a little bit from 10 juice to the under, 10 juice to the over now. 64% of tickets, 94% of the cash on the over. Money coming in on the over. Houston's public on the side. 67% of tickets, 74% of the cash on Houston. So the cash percentage is on Houston and the over. The A's sitting at minus 106, down to minus 105, actually. They look like a bit of an anti-public home team here, the A's, but Houston, you know they have the motivational edge here, man, because they're really just trying to fight to stay in this thing. Houston is still the better team. Mostly their biggest edge here is the bullpen, though. Well, that and the motivation, but we'll see. I don't want to have anything to do with that game. Let's go to the best bets. I'll reiterate my other 2 best bets, and I have one more, which I did already tell you what it is, to give it to our man there, Jordan, before he left. Once again, I do have a WNBA play. It's the Vegas Aces, minus 8.5 or minus 9. It's mostly minus 9 out there right now. Either way, we do have Kansas City on the run line, the Royals in baseball, minus 1.5. I know, difficult to do that with a team that doesn't score a lot of runs, but we're going to do it. And then I do have a half run line, half money line play with the Cincinnati Reds. I think this is a huge motivational edge for the Reds, and I do think they have the pitching edge in this game too, at least with the starting pitching, but the price is such a, I think we want to go full game on this. If you want to go first 5 inning, minus half a run, and see what that is priced at, you could do that as well. That price might be a little bit too high too. I'm going to go full game on this. I know they're at home, so they might not bat in the 9th inning. It's a little bit of a drawback, but we're splitting it. Half bet on the run line at a plus money at plus 135 on the minus 1.5. Half money line at minus 150. So the way I do it is bet the same, to win the same amount on both sides of it. And then what happens is if they win by 1, you'll win the money line portion of it. You'll lose the run line portion of it, but it'll be a slight win. It's just kind of a less risky way of doing it, and you actually get better prices this way because you can look, if you have multiple books available, you can get the best price on each number, potentially at different books. The market read doesn't look good on this, I know. We have 96% of tickets, only 92% of the cash on Cincinnati. They're very public. The money line keeps moving on them, though, up from minus 150 to minus 163, so even though the cash percentage looks like it's going against them, the money's coming in on the under as well, totaled down from 8.5 juice to the over to 8.5. 62% of tickets on the over, 72% of the cash on the under. Worries me a little bit in what is a hitter-friendly ballpark here. That if it's a lower scoring game, it's going to be more difficult to cover the number here, but I just think this is a big motivational edge. Man, Cincinnati, they're on a roll right now, so they are streaking. They did just sweep the Cubs, so in a way you could say it's a letdown spot. They've now won 5 games in a row after they were not playing well, but baseball is a streaky sport. A lot of times streaks continue. They're staying at home. I know they were off yesterday. Both of these teams were off yesterday. Rested bullpens here, but they're going to be motivated, man. I mean, they're right there, tied in the last wild card spot right now with the Mets. That's why they've been playing this motivated baseball here. I think it continues here. I don't think they're going to show up unfocused. I don't think they could have a letdown spot, even though they are playing a bad Pittsburgh team. Pittsburgh might show up as well, might be motivated because they want to try to spoil Cincinnati's season, and that's really all they can do now. And they're a close geographic rival, divisional rival, but Cincinnati, I mean, they're trying to make the playoffs here, man. So their goal is certainly to win. I don't think they're going to be in a letdown spot of sweeping the Cubs just because of the fact that this is playoff race time, man, and they're trying to win every single game. I know it's hard to keep that effort up every game, but at least they rested yesterday. So did Pittsburgh, but Pittsburgh coming in, they did just beat the A's twice in a row in shutouts. I don't think it's really going to be a letdown spot. They are flying out to Cincinnati to start a road trip here, so I do say when you start a road trip with momentum does carry a lot of time, and it is a decent focus spot. So looks like it's a focus spot for both teams, and I think the motivation is going to get it there for Cincinnati. They are the better team overall. They have the way better offense, obviously. Pittsburgh, very bad offensively. Johan Oviedo is pitching for Pittsburgh. He's been pretty good for them this year, surprisingly. 3.52 ERA, 1.24 whip, but I think this might be a spot to fade him, man. Looking at his career numbers, you got to think he's going to regress. He's been in the majors since 2020, has a career 4.25 ERA, 1.38 whip, which is definitely too high. He is actually better on the road, 3.07 ERA on the road, but this is a hitter-friendly ballpark, man. So I know he did pitch in basically one hitter-friendly ballpark at Fenway Park. Did okay in that start, went 5 innings, gave up 2 earned runs, got a win because he got a ton of run support in that one against the Red Sox. Ugh. I mean, I'm a fan of the Red Sox, so I'm saying because the Red Sox lost that game. They shouldn't have. He did walk 3 guys in that outing. His team has lost all 3 of his outings this month, and his strikeout walk ratio has become really a concern. I know he has a 3.45 ERA this month, but a 12-9 strikeout walk ratio, that's not going to cut it. He's walked 3 guys apiece in 4 straight starts, including that one at Fenway. That's not good, man. So he's walking way too many guys. I don't think he could possibly keep up what he's doing, and he's going to allow runs. So you put that many guys on base, you're skating on thin ice, and you're going to allow runs at some point. He's not good against Cincinnati. I know it's a limited sample, and I don't think they've faced him this year, but 24 at-bats, 3-5 strikeout walk ratio, terrible, more walks than strikeouts. They have a 375 batting average off him and 1,066 OPS, so he does not do well against them. He's going up against the Reds, as we said. Brady Singer pitching for the Reds. He is one of the better pitchers they got here. He's been good recently. He's had a decent season overall. He's made it into a pretty good season, pitching well for quite a while now recently. 3.86 ERA for him, 1.22 whip, solid. He is better at home, so the home road splits are actually in favor of both starters here, but I prefer Singer, obviously. 3.07 ERA at home, significantly better than on the road. Weird, given the fact that it's a hitter-friendly ballpark, but he just pitches better at home for whatever reason. He's allowed 3 or fewer earned runs in every start going all the way back to early August, and I know that was a start at Pittsburgh. I know that was his one bad start recently. He went 3 2/3 innings, gave up 4 earned runs, 4 walks. It was a bad start for him. 6 hits, 2 strikeouts. I know, bad start for him, but he did allow 3 or fewer earned runs in every start besides that one going all the way back through his last start in July. He's allowed 2 or fewer earned runs in every start except 2 of the starts going back through that stretch. And recently, he gets a lot of wins from his team recently, man. He's had, let me see, what is this? 8 of his last 10 starts, I think, have been wins, or 8 of his last 11, whatever it is. Cincinnati has won them. Up against Pittsburgh, despite that rough start last time out, he is good against them generally in 58 at-bats. 14-9 strikeout walk ratio is not good, but 4 of those walks basically came in that one bad start, or at least mostly. It was probably all 4. It depends on who was in the lineup then versus what it is now, but it was probably at least 3, maybe all 4 of those walks are factored into that number there. Overall, he's allowed a 241 average and 671 OPS against Pittsburgh, so I think he will do better here. That's the play. I took it off the screen. Sorry. That's going to do it, man. So the best bets one more time are the Vegas Aces in WNBA minus 8.5. Major League Baseball, Cincinnati Reds, half run line, half money line. And Kansas City Royals run line. The one I added late. That's going to do it. Hopefully we get there with these. Have a good day, everybody. Thanks for hanging out, man. I appreciate it for everybody that was in the chat this morning. Learn to Tone on Twitter. Learn to Tone on Instagram. Better Off Dead. Like, subscribe to the channel. Helps us out here, man. Helps me out. Getting close to being potentially monetized. Well, not that close. We got to get to 500 subscribers. Hopefully we can get there. Get the word out. We're also on the audio platforms. You can review me on Spotify and Apple. That helps out as well. Covered in Uke is my ukulele channel on YouTube. You can check that out as well, where the uke covers go. And then patreon.com/LearnToToad, and you can help me out there. Throw me a little bit of support if you want to. You get some bonus uke content there. I want to start doing the uke streams, man. Maybe tonight. I'll think about it. Might start doing live uke request streams. Maybe tonight. I'm thinking about doing them on Tuesday. I can't do it tonight, actually, but maybe I'll do it on Tuesday. But I am going to be seeing Jonathan Colton tonight, who was an ex-software developer and nerd musician. Huge fan of him. You guys might know him. He does, most famously, probably he does the Portal. Some of the songs for the game Portal, he wrote Still Alive, and those songs isn't the vocalist on Still Alive in the video game, but he has a version of it that he sings as well. And he did Code Monkey is a big song from him as well, about how frustrating it is to be a software developer, which definitely resonates with me. Obviously, that's one of his bigger songs as well. It was also the theme song for the animated comedy series Code Monkeys, which flew under the radar. But that was a fun show as well. Anyway, I'm ranting for too long here. Peace out. Everybody have a good Tuesday. That's going to do it for now. Peace.